All right, welcome to the Rochester Rhinos 2009 season. It kicks off tonight in Cary, North Carolina. Hello, I'm Joe Giuliano, your host for the pregame show, your new play-by-play broadcaster, and also the host for the postgame show as well in 2009. And it should be a great Rochester Rhinos season. The offseason much more stable for the boys to prepare as they get ready to tackle the Carolina Railhawks this evening. It's the season opener. Rochester has not played a game yet. They are 0-0. Carolina playing one game last week, a 1-0 record, 2-1 win over the Minnesota Thunder. Tonight's game coming to you from the Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina. 7 p.m. kickoff, and it'll be right here on Country 107.3. And we've got some changes as well in the broadcast booth. I'll be taking over the play-by-play duties, and I want to thank first, Soccer Sam, for providing this wonderful opportunity to move into a new seat here and replacing a legend in Rochester broadcasting, Don Stevens. For the past 11 years, I've been Don's sidekick, and I want to thank him for all his help. And over the years, he has been a tremendous professional, and he has helped me prepare for this opportunity in 2009. So thanks to Soccer Sam, Don Stevens, as we get ready for the 2009 season. And then we've brought in, you thought I did a good job color commentating, we have got probably one of the best we could find, whether it's in Rochester or in the U.S., former Rochester Rhinos coach and USL Hall of Famer Pat Erkley joins us for a brief minute here on the pregame show. Pat, it is going to be awesome to work with you. I'm so excited to have you back, and now in a new role. How do you feel about it?
Actually, it's exciting, obviously, to be able to share my experiences and also be able to share my knowledge about the game on the field. And obviously, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
You're going down in history. Wayne Fuller, Don Stevens, Joe Giuliano.
the two great ones, and then we'll see what I come up with. But, Pat, I'm going to be picking your brain. We're going to be talking a lot of great soccer during the 2009 season. Sit back, enjoy the pregame show. We got work to do in about 30 minutes.
Okay, thanks.
All right, Pat Erkley joining us on the pregame show. For the Rhinos, this is their 14th season. In 13 opening days, Rochester has gone 5-6-2. And for Rochester, this is the 5th consecutive season that the Rhinos have started away from home. They start the 2009 season with the longest road stretch to begin a year. There's 8 games before they come back May 30th against the Montreal Impact. That'll be their first home game of the season at the yet-to-be-named stadium. We'll talk about that a little later on. In 2006, the Rhinos played 7 games on the road as Paytech Park, as it was known then, was being built. So that's a preview of tonight's broadcast. When we come back, we've got a lot of action for you on the pregame show. We'll do a breakdown of your team, the Rochester Rhinos. We'll take a closer look at tonight's opponent, the Carolina Railhawks. And also we'll be joined by Rob Clark, the owner of the Rochester Rhinos. He has some major news to talk about. And Marco Rosa, the Director of Public Relations from the Carolina Railhawks, joins us as well. Stick around. This is the Rochester Rhinos pregame show, brought to you by Finger Lakes Gaming and Racetrack. And welcome back to the Rochester Rhinos pregame show, brought to you by Finger Lakes Gaming and Racetrack. I'm Joe Giuliano. Tonight, the Rochester Rhinos prepare for season number 14. They take on the Carolina Railhawks. It's 2009. It's underway in about 20 minutes, coming to you from the Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina. Well, for the Rochester Rhinos this season, they're going to carry 20 players. It includes 12 players who returned from 2008. They came within one game of reaching the USL championship game in 2008. And the new players for the Rochester Rhinos, they've come from all over the place. They've signed Puerto Rico striker Ty Atieno and Cleveland's Kwame Sarkodie. Rochester also brought in from the Atlanta Silverbacks, familiar name to Rhino fans, Mike Ambersley and Brent Sancho. He's also been named as Steve Guppy's replacement as the player assistant coach, and the Rhinos have added a trio that have come in from Europe: Christopher Nurse, Darren Kenton, and Christopher Sanders. Unfortunately for the Rhinos, some bad news on the injury front. Sanders has a potential season-ending ACL injury that occurred during the preseason, but there's also some good news on the injury front. Mauricio Salas has returned. He was out most of last season. We look for some big goal-scoring production from Mauricio Salas. So 19 of 20 players have made the trip, except for Chris Sanders. As we mentioned, he has got the ACL injury. The offseason also saw some key departures for the Rochester Rhinos, mainly Steve Guppy. He is now with the Colorado Rapids in Major League Soccer. He is their assistant coach, and what do you know, he takes one of the players with him as well. left defenseman Scott Palguda, who also shifted in the middle as well. He's now with Colorado of Major League Soccer. And we'll see a player tonight who had a great season with the Rochester Rhinos last year. He had 4 goals and 9 assists. Luke Kremmelmeyer, and I got a chance to watch him last week with the Railhawks. He was all over the field, creating opportunities for the team and for himself. He is now signed with the Carolina Railhawks. And Matthew Delicott, the big striker up top, he has gone back to the Richmond Kickers to join the team that he started off with before coming to the Rochester Rhinos. Stick around. When we come back, we'll have the free time segment of the show as we look at the Carolina Railhawks. Then we'll talk to Rob Clark and Marco Rosa from the Carolina Railhawks. This is the Rochester Rhinos pregame show, sponsored by Finger Lakes Gaming and Racetrack. Welcome back to the Rochester Rhinos pregame show, brought to you by Finger Lakes Gaming and Racetrack. I'm Joe Giuliano. It's the season opener for the Rhinos. They're taking on the Carolina Railhawks, and it should be an interesting one tonight down in North Carolina. Well, the Railhawks are completely revamped from last year. Scotty Schweitzer, Chris Economides no longer with the organization. Frankie Sanfilippo, another ex-Rhino, is now with the Charleston Battery. And new coach Martin Rennie has brought back only 4 players from last year's team, one of those players being former Rhino Ahmed Diallo. Martin Rennie's got quite a resume in the USL D2. He guided Cleveland City to last year's 2nd Division Championship. Then he was hired by the Railhawks, and what do you know? Cleveland gets moved up to USL Division 1. So I'm sure the Stars are a little upset in losing a great coach like Martin Rennie. The Hawks, they begin their 3rd season tonight. Last week they started with a 2-1 win. They began their 3rd season last week. Tonight they take on the Rochester Rhinos. And last week, 2-time USL Defender of the Year, Mark Schulte, former member of the Charleston Battery, and MLS forward Gavin Glinton had the goals. And Schulte, he's got a long throw-in. He scored on a rocket last week, giving the Railhawks a 1-0 lead. As we talked about, Luke Kremmelmeyer, also now a member of the Carolina Railhawks, and he was a nightmare last week for the Minnesota Thunder. And did you know last week the 2-1 win over the Minnesota Thunder was Martin Rennie's 3rd straight win in opening matches of the season? He is 3-0-0, all those games coming by a score of 2-1. In the all-time head-to-head series, Rochester holding an advantage, 1 win, no losses, and 4 ties against the Carolina Railhawks. Stick around. When we come back, we've got Rob Clark coming on the line with us, and he has a major announcement with regards to the naming rights and also a major exhibition match taking place at the soccer stadium this year. Stick around. This is the Rochester Rhinos pregame show, sponsored by Finger Lakes Gaming and Racetrack. And welcome back to the Rochester Rhinos pregame show, brought to you by Finger Lakes Gaming and Racetrack. This segment of the show brought to you by Stokes, Visca and Company, certified public accountants, the official CPAs of the Rochester Rhinos. And let's go to the phones. We have got the owner of the club on the line with us right now, Mr. Rob Clark. And Rob, what an eventful week here in Rochester. I guess we should start off with the naming rights press conference. Talk about that whole situation.
Yeah, it's always great. It was, surprising to everyone, and we were able to pull one over on the entire media in Rochester, and it was great.
It's a very unique idea, especially when you think, there were some companies maybe taking a nibble at the naming rights of the soccer stadium, but no real hardline offers. And who came up with the idea and the initial response? How's it been the last couple of days?
Well, we had a couple of backup offers that we were considering, and they weren't what we wanted. They were over $100,000. And then we had a staff brainstorming meeting, and Rich Randall from our office kind of threw the idea out there. And, after we thought about it for a few minutes, we're like, this could be a great thing for us, and, we could really get a bigger buzz around town with it. So we decided to go with it.
So we've had a few days since the press conference, and how has the response been from the community?
The response so far has been really good. We had a bunch of sponsors that have been our sponsors in years past immediately call up and make sure they renewed. That was great. Mr. Wilmot, Chris Wilmot, came in and he bought a bunch of tickets immediately, so it was great. So far everything's going really well. I'm actually going to head to Utica probably Tuesday and sell about 25 or 50 of those $1,000 seats myself. So.
How about a national level? I know there's been some national attention as well. This is a totally unique idea where you've got a raffle, an opportunity to have your name on the stadium for a year. On the national level, has anything come about?
Well, it's been on Fox National News, I believe Friday, all day it was. It's been on several blogs, and we've been contacted by the New York Daily News. We've also been contacted by the CBS Morning News and a bunch of other ones. So, it's getting out there. I mean, that's not our first priority, but it is nice, and who knows, maybe there'll be companies out there that say, wow, for $1,000, I'm spending $10 million a year on this stadium. If I throw $1,000 in, I can give it to some clients from our Rochester regional company, and who knows.
What about the website? I go to rhinosoccer.com today, and that's totally revamped, totally new look.
I know, isn't it great? That's another treat we have for our fans today. We relaunched our site. It's got a lot of, it honors our past, I think, nicely, and I think people are going to love it.
And there's also word of a special announcement regarding a major exhibition match at the stadium. Can you break the news on that one?
I don't know. Why? What are you talking about? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we signed the U.S. Women's National Team. They're playing Canada. I believe the date is July 19th at 3 p.m., and we're looking forward to that. Tickets for that will go on sale next week, and it's also a national TV game on ESPN, and what a great way to kick off, put your name on the stadium and have that happen. Who's going to not like to see their name on national TV? It could be the Joe Giuliano Stadium for the thing. So,
with the proximity to Canada, that is going to be a huge crowd at the yet-to-be-named soccer stadium. Rob, the season kicks off tonight. How do you feel in comparison to last year?
I feel good. We had a lot of time to train, and this is truly Darren's team this year, and we hope to start off the year with a bang.
Well, Rob,
and maybe throw a few elbows towards Luke Kramelmeyer, because I know he shies away from that, so we'll see what happens.
We'll see how it goes today. Rob, enjoy the game. Best of luck, and I'm sure we'll talk soon.
All right, guys. See you.
Hi, Rob Clark joining us on the pregame show, sponsored by Finger Lakes Gaming and Racetrack. When we come back, Marco Rosa, the Director of Public Relations from the Carolina Railhawks, joins us, and we'll go down to the field level and get the starting lineups. We are about 8 minutes away from kickoff. The 2009 Rochester Rhinos season begins tonight. Welcome back to the Rochester Rhinos pregame show, sponsored by Finger Lakes Gaming and Racetrack. I'm Joe Giuliano. Tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Noth Nagel Realtors. The Rhinos kicking off the 2009 season at the WakeMed Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina. And we've got Tim Camden on with us instead of Marco Rosa. He is the web editor for the Carolina Railhawks. And Tim, thanks for joining us on the pregame show and presenting us with the starting lineups tonight from Cary, North Carolina.
It's my pleasure. Starting in goal for the Rhinos, you got Scott Vallow. Then you got 5 defenders: John Ball, Kenny Burtz, Brett Sancho, Danny Earls, and Chris Nurse. 2 midfielders: Tiger Fitzpatrick and Andrew Greger. And then 3 forwards: Johnny Minyonger, Ty Atiano, and Ryan Hines. I hope I said all those names right.
You did a perfect job with those guys, Tim. And last week for you guys, it was a big win, and Schulte with a long throw-in, also got on the end of one with a beautiful shot to make it 1-0. What are we looking at tonight coming from the Carolina side?
I would imagine more of the same. Lots of a lot of movement off the ball, lots of short, quick passes, and a lot of possession. And just kind of a lot of patient attack, and they'll kind of take their openings when they get them.
Let's take a peek at the starting lineup for your team, the Carolina Railhawks.
Sure thing. Starting in goal is Caleb Patterson. He started down in Wilmington for an interdivisional friendly with the Hammerheads the other night. Then you got 4 defenders: Devin McKinney, Mark Schulte, Jack Stewart in the middle, and John Gilkison's out wide. In the midfield is Amir Lowry, Josh Gardner, Daniel Palladini, and Brian Plotkin. And at forward, former Rhino Luke Kramelmeyer and Saliu Bundu.
Bundu was pretty effective last week. What's the thoughts on him?
He was. He seems to be somebody who's just itching to get a goal. He had a chance from about 6 yards last week. Ball just kind of came in, and all of a sudden it was on his foot. And as he turned, he lost his footing, and wasn't able to convert. But I think he's going to be a guy, once he gets his first goal of the year, it's just going to be goal after goal after goal for him. He does everything well. He plays great with his back to the goal. He's a great link-up guy. Can break it out of the air as well. He does everything well, and I think once he gets that first one, look out.
One name I didn't hear is Sama playing on the defense tonight?
No, actually, Sama is not dressing this evening.
And how about Palladini? I thought didn't he have the shot that went off the crossbar last week?
Yes, he did. His shot, I don't think it went down as an assist, but he had just an absolute blast from about 30 yards. Took a deflection in the scrum of the box, and it went up, hit the crossbar, and then the deflection as it came back down, Gavin Glinton beat Minnesota's goalkeeper to it and just headed it right in. It's kind of one of those lucky bounces that went the Railhawks' way, but after 2 years of not very many lucky bounces, it was nice to see them get one.
Tim, we appreciate the help with the starting lineup. Stay on the line just for a second if you could. That was brought to you by Noth Nagel Realtors. We'll take our final break. When we come back, it's kickoff, the Rhinos and the Railhawks. We're kicking off the 2009 season.
Experience it all at the Strathallan Hotel. The Strathallan Hotel offers beautiful banquet space to accommodate events from 10 to 225 people. Our experienced catering department is trained to make your event or special day the most successful and memorable. Our trained kitchen staff from the renowned grill will surpass your every expectation. So let us do the work while you sit back and enjoy your memorable occasion. The Strathallan Hotel, 550 East Avenue.
To Rochester Rhinos Soccer. The 2009 season begins tonight from Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina. I'm Joe Giuliano, and I'm joined by the new color commentator for the Rochester Rhinos, Pat Erkley, as we kick off 2009. A new broadcast booth and a new team, and Pat Erkley is back with us. Pat, welcome back to the organization, now in a totally different role.
Oh, it's great to be here, Joe. Thank you very much.
Tonight, the Railhawks taking on the Rochester Rhinos, kicking off the 2009 season. And it was a wild offseason last year. Not much stability. We weren't even sure if Rochester was going to come back, but this year they are back, and Coach has had a lot of time now to have a more stable offseason. How do you anticipate the season to start for the Rhinos, Pat?
Obviously, going on the road is always a difficult place to start. You're trying to get your game legs, especially in the first game, and you're going up against a team that's obviously playing at home and has already played a home game. So I think we're going to have to watch throughout the course of the game the strategy that Darren implements in regards to keeping fresh people on the field. I think especially playing down further in this kind of weather.
It's going to be warm. Absolutely. Going to be warm down there tonight. And for you, Pat, how you been keeping busy since the days with the Rhinos?
Just keeping working, doing the old thing, watching the family, participating with that. And obviously my parents are getting a little older, so I'm spending a little more time with them.
Aren't we all?
So, just enjoying that. And I've come to a few games, obviously participated in watching Darren obviously trying to do something with the team that he pretty much didn't put together last year, but he did very well considering that they had a very difficult start and then came back at the end of the season last year.
And what about the preseason? Rochester going 4-0-4 this year, and Carolina. You and I talked about this off the air this week. They had maybe a little more competitive preseason, so their start to the year maybe off to a little more bang, a little more step in the start for the Railhawks. So they played New England Revolution. They played a team from Honduras. But you made a great point. It's how you end the season.
Yeah, it's not where you start. It's where you end. And Darren knows that very well, obviously playing for the Rhinos while I was coaching
for you
such a long time. He knew that we basically didn't always have the greatest starts, but we always had the greatest finishes.
We are a couple minutes away from kickoff tonight. The Eagle running around the field at Wake Med Soccer Park, the Rhinos and the Carolina Railhawks getting ready to kick off. Rochester wearing the white and black stripes with the black shorts and the black socks, and a little Juventus look, and that's something that I think we saw for a couple of years back when you were in charge of the team.
Yeah, we brought that in, I think, like the second or third year, and obviously it stayed with the team. Although our predominant colors were green, the black and white took precedence, especially in that U.S. Open Cup run.
And looking at the lineups again tonight for the Rochester Rhinos, Tim Cannon helped us out earlier tonight. But in goal, it'll be Scott Vallow. Defensively, it'll be Burtz, Earls, Ball, and Sancho. Looks like the midfield is going to be Fitzpatrick, Nurse, Gregor, Hines up top, Atieno, and Johnny Menyanger. For the home team, the Carolina Railhawks. Looks like Sewell will start in the nets. He was with the Red Bulls in 2008. Defensively, McKenney, Schulte, Gilkerson, and Stewart. And in the midfield, it looks like it's going to be Gardner, Kremmelmeyer, Plotkin, Palladini, and Lowry. And up top, Bundu, the Sierra Leone international, starting up top for the Carolina Railhawks. And they've changed things as well, Pat. One of your former players, Scott Schweitzer, had a 2-year run there with Chris Economides as well, but now some changes down south as well.
Yeah, I mean, they were basically the Rochester of the South, from what I heard. And they had a difficult time with it, I guess. They didn't. I don't know. I don't know if they made the playoffs. They kind of squeaked.
Nope.
Were trying to squeak in
Didn't
right
make
there
it
at the
last
end
year.
of the season didn't make it. So obviously they had to make some changes. But certainly Renee's come in, and I guess if you have Renee and Darren on the field, I'd go with Darren. But unfortunately, the coaches don't get to play. But with the changes that he's made, Renee's obviously had a lot of success in the second division, and he's got a pedigree in coaching, his WAFA license, and obviously he's done well at the beginning of seasons. And last year they won the championship in the second division. So the array of players, international players, and new players that he's brought in, obviously they've had a great start.
Hey, what does it say about a coach who has players come in to Cleveland with him, and then he gets another job in Carolina, and they follow him to the new club? That's a huge honor for the coach.
No question. Schulte's obviously a leader and an experienced player that he brought in with him. He's got a great long throw. As a matter of fact, when we went to Portugal in 2001, he and Minyanger came with me, so I got to know them well. He's the type of player, obviously, that makes a difference, not only on the field but in the locker room. And when a player like that comes along with the coach, obviously he respects the coach and likes to play for him, and that makes a big difference.
And the Railhawks will be wearing the orange jerseys, black shorts, and the white socks. Schulte, the captain, number 13 for the Carolina Railhawks, and the captain for the Rochester Rhinos. You know him very well, Scott Vallow, and as you've seen him play throughout the years, talk about his progression.
Scott came to us from the MLS, the U40, the project that the MLS had at that time, and we got the opportunity to play against him a few times. And when Pat Onstead went over to Europe, he was my first choice. We brought him in, and initially he came into a veteran team, so it was somewhat difficult because he was a younger player, and you want some leadership from your goalie, and that becomes a little more difficult when you're dealing with a back line that's so experienced. But he's developed through the years, and obviously he won that championship with us in 2001, I believe, and made one tremendous save on Roberto, another play together.
Now on the same side, and it's funny how things kind of come full circle in the world of soccer. Pat, it's great to have you up here in the broadcast booth. We are about 1 minute away from kickoff. The introductions taking place right now. The Rhinos and the Carolina Railhawks getting ready to kick off the 2009 season here for the Rochester Rhinos. Pat, 8 straight games on the road. It is going to be absolutely welcoming to come back to Rochester May 30th.
No question, but when you look at it, if you want to squeak out some points at the beginning of the season, you catch a team, especially trying to get their game legs, and have a little more pressure playing at home. And being on the road, you get to gel as a team, so it's not a bad thing. Of course, then you have a lot of home games in the middle of the season.
Exactly, middle of the summer, too, and it's hot and muggy.
Yeah, and you're dealing with teams that maybe you would have liked to have gotten at the beginning of the season, like Puerto Rico.
True.
Bring them into the cold weather for a few games. So you're dealing with that, and but we always kind of mixed it up. We had a few games at home, a few games on the road, and obviously it all depends on the league and what they determine is best for the league.
And it's a few minutes away from kickoff, national anthem taking place, and this is probably one of the longest introductions we've seen before a soccer match. We are 7 minutes past 7, and the anthem now going on. Wake Med Soccer Park is the venue this evening. It's supposed to be a 7 o'clock kickoff, but we're going a little late as the introduction's going a bit longer tonight as the Rhinos, and they've got a player assisting coach in Brent Sancho, who's starting in the back alongside of Kenny Burtz. And I guess it's pretty interesting to have a player coach on the field. He can play as well as coach while he's right in the middle of the pitch.
Well, it always helps. 1 year we had done it ourselves with
Lennon?
Lennon Steenkamp. That's correct.
Quickly, a long time, huh?
But he obviously it brought a different flair to the team in the sense that he knew what our thought process as coaches were and what we expected on the field. Although we always had leaders, veteran players on the field that pretty much did that for us. So it wasn't much of an issue for us. But depending on who's on your team, if you have an experienced team and an older team, then it's not an issue. If you have a younger team, then it's always important to have somebody on the field that can help you with that.
The national anthem just wrapping up here at the WakeMed Soccer Park, and beautiful evening. Sun's starting to set, and the players, first game of the year, Pat, it's a whole other level. The preseason, you want to get fit, you want to get sharp, but this is a whole other level as you walk onto the pitch and kick it off for those valuable points.
No question. Certainly you want to get off to a great start, but it's not the end of the world if you don't. You have to take it one game at a time, and if you have that mentality, then throughout the course of the season, you're going to have your highs and lows, and the lows aren't going to be as detrimental. And the highs, you shouldn't really get too high either.
Yeah, you got to keep them within reason. As Rennie and Darren Tilley have a handshake at midfield, a quick discussion as the Rhinos get ready to take on the Carolina Railhawks, who are undefeated right now with a record of 1-0. They picked up a 2-1 win last week against the Minnesota Thunder. It was also at the WakeMed Soccer Park, so they had a friendly as well in the middle of the week, a 2-0 win on Tuesday against Wilmington, where Matt Watson scored a goal the same day he had a first baby, but he is not in the lineup this evening. He's got some family matters to attend to, and I think with a new baby that is well-deserved for Watson after scoring a goal. And finally going to get underway here at the WakeMed Soccer Park as the Rhinos huddle up and get ready to kick off the 2009 season. In the beautiful conditions here, 120 by 75, grass surface, and from your playing days, Pat, you see a grass surface or turf, your eyes have to light up on that beautiful plush surface.
Oh, no question. When you have a beautiful carpet, it always feels better. So you also, with those conditions, it depends on what sort of tools you want to use, what sort of footwear you want to use. So if it's a great carpet like it is tonight, obviously you can wear 6 studs that allow you to have a better grip on the field.
And you had that great time on that indoor turf, though, didn't you?
Well, I did. Always those burns were always good on the side of the leg. But you're dealing also with a surface where you can make some crisp passes and you can play 1-2s and you can be a little quicker. It also helps with that. Of course, it all depends on how they cut it also, depending on what you want as an advantage at home. If you have a fast forward, obviously you're going to cut the grass shorter.
Sure, good point.
You get a quicker ball. If the other team has a fast forward, like we had when we had Doug Miller.
He was kind of quick, wasn't he?
Yeah, they always had a longer grass wherever we played, so the ball wouldn't be as quick.
Get ready for kickoff here. It's Johnny Manyager and Aptiano. The 2009 season is underway from Cary, North Carolina, and the Rhinos with the kickoff. Tiger Fitzpatrick has possession to Danny Earls, the 20-year-old on the far side. As the Rhinos playing a little knock around here on the far side of the pitch. Earls, a couple touches early on. Tiger tries to play it forward, and it's taken away there by the Railhawks. And here they come now, full force ahead, broken up there by Brent Sancho as the Railhawks with a throw-in just inside of midfield. Beautiful night in Cary, North Carolina. The 2009 season underway. We are not even 30 seconds old. Kremelmeyer with a long throw-in on the far side looking for Bundu. And it's up out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick coming up for the Rochester Rhinos. Bundu with a few words for the referee's assistant. But it'll be a goal kick nonetheless for Rochester. Scott Vallow in the pipes this year. He's the captain for the Rochester Rhinos. We'll have a goal kick tonight, and we'll see what they come up with on the challenge here on the long service from Scott Vallow. As the Railhawks trying to get their second win of the season, kicked just over midfield. And it's played out of bounds on the Rhinos. They have a throw-in the Carolina half of the field. Danny Earls on the left side of defense. He'll come up. He's going to have a huge role pushing into the attack. The 20-year-old legs, Pat, a kid like that can run forever.
Oh, no questions. He's got a great service. Obviously, if he can get up into the wings for us, he'll be able to put a crisp ball across. And, I watched him a few times last year, and he was very good at it.
Looks like Kenny Burt's early on is very tight on Bundu. And Burt's definitely a physical player, Pat, you saw there. He came in hard with the challenge. And is he sending a bit of a message to Bundu there?
No, there's a question. It looks like both teams are trying to set the tone. And there's a lot of good pressure in the midfield, so it's been a little choppy here at the start.
Followed by Greger at midfield. Quick restart for the Railhawks. Pushed into the box by Gilkerson. Top of the 18. Bundu can't control it, but possession back to Palladini. Now on this near side to Gardner. He'll play it back, looking to get deep into the Rochester territory. No luck there, as Tiger Fitzpatrick will let it run over the end line. Check that, Brett Sancho. It'll be another goal kick for the Rochester Rhinos. We are just 3 minutes in, and the Rhinos and Railhawks are scoreless. Sponsors of the Rhinos broadcast in 2009 include AT&T Mobility, AT&T Your World Delivered, and Auction Direct. The lowest price, the best experience. Log on to auctiondirect.com. Second goal kick of the game for the Rhinos. Scott Vallow heads it forward, or kicks it forward to Atieno. He tries to win the ball, but the Railhawks take it at their own 35. First touch for Sewell. He spent the 08 season with the New Jersey Red Bulls. Actually began his youth career in Australia. He gets the start tonight for the Railhawks. Bit of a feeling out phase here. Both teams, a lot of touches at midfield. Not too much pressure once they cross midfield, though the tempo seems to change.
Yeah, I mean, being in their first game here, I think the Rhinos need to get that opportunity to knock the ball around, get a feel for the ball, get people forward, and have good movement off the ball. That's very important, especially early on in the game here. Obviously, being at home, the Railhawks want to apply some pressure, and that becomes a little more difficult to do. So the Rhinos have to figure out a way to keep that ball moving and change the field a little bit and just get some confidence through it.
There's Hines, goes in hard on a challenge with Gilkerson. He takes it away, tries to play a through ball looking for Bundu. He makes the run the other way, and it rolls harmlessly to Scott Vallow, who had 11 wins last year with the Rochester Rhinos and 10 shutouts. Good for fourth in the USL First Division. He'll settle things down. And the Railhawks, with a totally new look this year, Scott Schweitzer, Chris Economidi is gone. Martin Rennie from the Cleveland City Stars now taking the charge of our formerly known Rochester, South Carolina Railhawks. There's Earls now. Be a foul just inside of midfield as Plotkin coming up over the back of Brent Sancho. Plays it to Johnny Ball, the 36-year-old who never seems to age. He's got those Soccer Sam jeans, I think. There's a ball by Greger to Menyanger, checking to receive it about 40 yards out. Now Earls coming up into the attack on the far side. Pressure coming, tries to cut to his right, loses possession, and the Railhawks will carry it away.
That was a good play, actually. We had a lot of play on the right side of the field, then it switched to the center and went across the field to Earls, and he had a little space there. So he's got to take that opportunity to move forward, and he tried to do that initially, and he needs to combine maybe with a forward to be able to get deep into the corner so he can get a crossover for us.
Railhawks coming again with a long ball from Gilkerson looking for Bundu. He gets the flick at the top of the 18, and Kremmelmeyer will take possession right in the middle of the field. Ball played out to the far side. Railhawks with possession. Facing the sun, one-on-one with Earls. Earls holding his ground for the Rhinos, wins possession back. Doesn't get too caught up and lose possession there, but now he does, and the Railhawks inside the 18 set it in the box, and it's deflected out of bounds. It'll be a corner kick for the Carolina Railhawks, and that was Devin McKenney. And we thought Earls initially played the ball great, but then all of a sudden just lost possession.
I mean, they're playing the same thing. McKenney's moving forward. They're getting their both fullbacks forward on either side. In that case, Earl actually dispossessioned him of the ball, but then moved back towards our goal, and that's how they were able to get the ball away from him.
Corner kick now. First corner kick of the game. It's going to be Gardner, left-footed. Great in-swinger. He had some great service last week, Pat. We'll see what he comes up with here. In the first half, 6th minute, no score. Corner kick swerved in the box. It's a high corner kick to the far side of the 6. No one can win possession there. And it'll roll out of bounds. Looks like there's going to be a foul called and a free kick coming up for the Rochester Rhinos. Schulte, and what a game he had last week, Pat. Long throw-ins, right-footed cannon, and he's going to get in the attack as much as he can.
No question. He'll move forward every time. Corner kicks, throw-ins. Obviously, he likes to put that ball long and deep into the 6-yard box. But, Scott's aware of that, and even when he played with us in 2001, we won that game basically on a long throw from Hershey, and Scott was able to counterattack through it. So I think there may be a point in the game where the Railhawks may push people into the attack, especially on a long throw-in, and we might be able to get a counterattack off of it. So that, Scott's aware of that, and hopefully he's thinking about that at some point in the game. It could play make the difference.
It definitely is a weapon for the Railhawks. We saw it come into play last week. And like Pat said, though, the well-coached Rhinos should be aware of that opportunity. Here is Plotkin, stripped of the ball there, and the Rhinos coming forward. Atieno gets it off the left foot, loses possession, and it's coming back now at midfield to the Railhawks. Looking on the far side, that's Palladini to Kremelmeyer, the former Rhino, had 4 goals, 9 assists last year. A big loss in the midfield. Bundu trying to check back, pops it in the air, and Kenny Burt's up, wins the ball, but it bounces to Palladini, who plays it to Gilkerson. We've called his name quite a bit here in the first half. Gilkerson now against 2 Rhino defenders. Bundu, a lot of movement off the ball, loses possession as Sancho gets up his back, and there's going to be a foul. Actually, no, it's going to be a player who is down for the Rochester Rhinos. It's Chris Nurse, who's really been brought in as a hard-nosed defender, and you don't want to see another player go down. He's the ball winner, and he's down. Johnny Manyanger overlooking Chris Nurse, and challenge there from Burtz came on Bundu. Then Nurse, the second part of the play, had his left leg up in the air, just exposed.
Yeah, it looked like, he got hit almost from behind. He actually had his body turned a little bit, and it looked like it might be a knee injury or knee knock, and right now he's down and obviously in agony.
And Sanders, we talked about him. He is out for the season with the ACL injury, and now another injury. And Pat, the Rhinos are carrying 20 players this year, down to 19 now with the Sanders injury. It's definitely an issue of quality over quantity, but injuries do add up in this very physical USL First Division.
Well, no question. When you get towards the middle of the season where you may be playing 2 or 3 games a week, and you have injuries, and the fields get a little harder during the summer, and obviously the weather gets warmer, so you're going to have more injuries, and you really have to pace yourself to some degree in the USL 1.
Looks like Nurse is going to be okay. We thought it was his left leg, but he's actually holding his left eye. It looks like his eyebrow maybe took a knock to the head. The Guyana international, age 24. Again, big ball winner in the midfield for the Rhinos. He should be okay as we are in the 10th minute. No score, Rochester and Carolina. Throw-in now coming up for the Railhawks. Gardner, we'll see if he does the right thing and return possession to the Rochester Rhinos. As Nurse getting bandaged up from Rhinos trainer Dave DePasquale. He does it all for the team. And great guy to have in your corner, Mr. Dave DePasquale. And good move there by the Railhawks as they return possession to the Rhinos. It'll be a throw-in for John Ball. Atieno, nice little turnaround, tries to play it forward. No one there for the Rhinos, and it's taken away by McKenney. Plays it to Schulte on the far side now. Coming forward are the Railhawks approaching midfield. We are in the 10th minute, no score from Wake Med Soccer Park, Cary, North Carolina. Long ball. We saw a lot of this last week from the Railhawks looking for Bundu. No one there but Danny Earls to play it out at the top of the 18. The Railhawks keep possession in the Rhinos half of the field, but now here comes Johnny Manyanger. Trying to look forward, looking for some help. He's got Atieno forward, but he's marked by 3 men. Plays it back to Hines. Earls now trying to push up, getting more in the attack for the Rhinos. Johnny Manyanger to Tiger Fitzpatrick. Dangerous ball there. Sancho reads it well, but he gives it away after he's under pressure. And here's Bundu, and there's a foul on the play. Sancho saving the day there for Tiger Fitzpatrick. Tough giveaway and a foul called on the Railhawks. That'll be on Schulte. Check that, Plotkin, and it'll be a free kick for the Rhinos, but some dangerous moments there in the middle of the park.
Yeah, there needs to be a little more patience on our part. I mean, it's still early in the game. It's their first game. They're trying to get their legs. They got to settle down a little bit here. And they certainly can't give the ball away up in the middle of the field because that's where they'll get counterattacked. And that could have very well happened in that situation.
Long ball from Sancho, played it to Hines, who was double-teamed there, and he's not going to win that battle. It'll be a throw-in coming out for Gilkerson and the Railhawks. 11th minute, Rochester and Carolina, no score. We've kicked off the 2009 season, and the Rhinos are playing 8 straight games on the road. This is the first of 8 before they come home on May 30th to take on the Montreal Impact. Long ball played from the far side to the near side. Good touch here from Gardner, and John Ball marks him, gets a little left-footed poke. And they're going to say it comes off of Gardner. Throw-in for the Rochester Rhinos. And, what can you say about John Ball? 36 years old. He's been indoors, outdoors, 6 years with the Rhinos. The guy doesn't age.
No, he's obviously a spark plug. And, and the new position that he's playing is very, he can adapt to it. Obviously, he was a winger for us at times and a forward at times. And he certainly can get into the attack and score some goals, but this is a natural position for him. He's very light on his feet. He's very quick, and he's someone that can get forward and obviously get some good crosses.
And now look, coming up here, Pat, we've got a throw in, and look who's taken the trot up to about 6 yards out. It's Schulte, and he has got a bomb of a throw in. It's deep in Rochester territory, and we'll see how the Rhinos have prepared.
And this is where Scott can come out and challenge for this ball.
Inside the 6, and Sancho, good clearance.
Yep, and again, this is a situation where if they get people forward, then we have an opportunity maybe with them and Younger up top to counterattack.
Johnny Ball showing some great athleticism, jumping in the air, reaching high for the header. That's the second one we've seen from him tonight. And the first long bomb from Schulte, the Rhinos able to dodge a bullet there as a throw-in at midfield for the Railhawks. Gardner jumps up in the air, but a hard challenge there from Brent Sancho. But possession goes back to Gilkerson and the Railhawks. They'll change the run of play, switching it to the wide-open far side. Here's Plotkin with some possession now for the Railhawks. Luke Kremelmeyer had a great game last week, looking to continue the magic now with his new club, the Carolina Railhawks. Forward to Kremelmeyer on the far side, tries to spin around Earls all over his back. Overlapping on that side now is McKenney. Right-footed cross, high up in the air, and it's over the 6. Johnny Ball tries to win possession back for the Rhinos, but it's taken there by Gardner. Bit of possession here coming up from the Railhawks, and a hard challenge from Ryan Hines. It'll be a throw-in for the Rochester Rhinos, but a good bit of play there from the Railhawks, changing it from the near to the far.
Yeah, it's important for us if we're going to channel them to one side of the field to get the pressure on the player with the ball so they can't deliver it across the field like that. And when you are putting pressure on one side of the field and they're capable of changing the field like that, then you can get hurt. You saw where Earls got almost double teamed there on a 2-on-1, and they were able to get into the corner and get a crossover.
So dangerous opportunity for the Railhawks as the cameraman takes a bit of a knock. His microphone cover comes off. It'll be a throw-in nonetheless for the Railhawks coming from Gardner. Sancho, a lot of play being pulled out from the middle of the park, wins the ball there, but it goes back to the Railhawks. Schulte now playing it to Plotkin. He's looking up. No pressure on him at all. Rochester, everyone on their side of midfield. Still coming forward. Now the Railhawks crossing midfield. Again, a switch of the play here. Bad touch there by the Railhawks. Younger wins possession for the Rhinos. He's immediately double-teamed, and Railhawks get possession back on the far side. Kremelmeyer spins, comes back now for the Railhawks. They'll go back, now come forward. Bundu trying to check for the ball, but Tiger Fitzpatrick there to win it for the Rhinos. Knocked away there. Possession back to Carolina. Gardner on the near side, looking to swerve one in, and it's taken away there by Johnny Ball. Anticipating it well, breaking up the play as the Railhawks starting to gain some confidence here in minute number 15.
Yeah, really important for us, especially when you're playing a 4-3-3, that your forward gets back into the midfield on the opposite side of the field so they can't switch that ball like they have been. Once they switch it and they get it in behind that forward that's playing up front in the third position, you got a 2-on-1 on your defender, and it becomes very difficult.
Long corner kick from Kremelmeyer, headed up and over the bar. No harm there for Scott Vallow and the Rochester Rhinos. It's Schulte again who gets into the attack for Carolina. Connolly, the official printer of the Rhinos, a proud sponsor of these Rhino broadcasts. And the Distillery, your neighborhood gathering place. It's all good here, proud sponsors of the Rochester Rhinos in 2009. Another goal kick coming up for Scott Vallow, and the Rhinos haven't had much opportunity to attack Sewell, but again, being the visiting team, kind of what you expect here. The Rhinos kicking off the 2009 season. Here's Gardner, the left-footed midfielder. Plays a ball way over to the far side. Kremelmeyer keep it in. Shows some good speed. Tries to put it through the legs of Danny Earls. Can't do that, but he gets the deflection. It'll be a corner kick now coming up for the Railhawks, and looks like Gardner. They've got some good servers of the ball, whether it's on the far side or the near side. Gardner with the left foot and Luke Kremelmeyer with the right.
Yeah, Darren was up there barking some instruction. Obviously he sees that we're breaking down a little bit out on the flanks and that they're able to switch the field of play, and obviously he must be making some changes in regards to the formation.
The Railhawks are flooding the box now. Gardner whips the ball at the corner of the 6. Headed out there by Johnny Ball, but it goes to Gardner. He'll whip another low one in the box. Cleared away by Earls this time, but still the Railhawks 35 yards out. Long ball in the box. Headed back across the 6 to the top of the 18. Tiger Fitzpatrick will clear it away, and the Railhawks again get possession. Still with the ball now inside the Rhinos' half of the field. Carolina's Gardner to Schulte. He's now crossing his own half of the field. They've got to go all the way back to Sewell. The Rhinos get a chance to recover here in the 17th minute. No score, Rochester and Carolina.
I mean, this isn't a bad situation for Rochester at this point. I mean, what needs to be understood is they're playing a lot of defense. And when you're playing a lot of defense, you're using up a lot of energy. So essentially when we do win the ball, then we do need to keep some possession so we can gain some confidence and we're not going to get as tired.
We'll see how that works out for the Rhinos. We had Burtz and Boondu with a couple of words. And Pat, we talked about Burtz and Boondu. They were going hard a couple minutes ago, and now Boondu finally with some words of retaliation for Kenny Burtz.
Yeah, he's a little strong cookie up there. They're trying to hit that deep ball to him and win the second ball. He'll get up and fight for it, and it'll come back into the midfield. But our midfielders have been dropping well, and they haven't been able to win that second ball.
Another corner kick as it's headed away there by Chris Nurse. And the Railhawks with another corner kick. That is their 5th corner kick in the first 18 minutes. So a lot of pressure coming from the home team as we expected. Gardner with that left leg back to work on the far side. Corner kick at the 6. Headed away there by Danny Earls. Right-footed volley there. Plotkin off the line as the Rhinos under intense pressure. Another shot by Gardner with the left foot deflected up and wide. It'll be a corner kick for the Railhawks. Not sure if it came off the post or if Vallow made the save.
It looked like he made the save, and it actually came off the post after he saved it.
So the ball came to the top of the 18, and it's Plotkin with the right foot, and I think it did hit the post. The Rhinos dodging a bullet there, but again, another corner kick coming up for the Railhawks, and Gardner now trying to find his mark, as he almost does there. This is the 6th corner kick now for the Railhawks.
And they're getting better with every one. They're driven balls where before they were a little more lofted.
Right-footed volley there. Sancho deflects, Pat, takes it out of play there. Gardner gets possession back on the far side with the right foot cross. This time, no one there for the Railhawks. Menyanger all the way back inside the 18. He'll just try to clear it deep, but the Railhawks win possession. Everyone in the Rhinos' half of the field. Kremmelmeyer on the right side, trying to sneak away and win across here. He can't do it. Menyanger steals possession, but he loses it back to Luke Kremmelmeyer, and it'll be a throw in. A lot of action, Pat, on that far right side with Kremmelmeyer and Gardner and now Schulte. These throws, they make me nervous, these bombs.
Well, again, you saw Menyanger getting back on that side. Now, if he can continue to do that, then they won't have the run of play on that side of the field. Right now, they've been taking control of that and obviously getting corner kicks and the long throw, and like we're seeing here.
Schulte gets possession after Sancho clears the header for the Rhinos. But again, Plotkin now will play it inside the Rhinos half. Another long ball looking for Boondu, and Sancho called upon to make the save again there for the Rhinos. Here come the Railhawks again. A lot of possession, knocking it around. Good movement off the ball. Plotkin now checking for it. Doesn't receive it. It goes to Gilkerson instead on the near side. Beautiful night here in Cary, North Carolina. The Rhinos and the Railhawks. Boondu checking back to receive the ball. Lets it go through there, and Sancho again, and reading the play, reading the run of Boondu. Sancho, the player assistant coach for the Rochester Rhinos, spent 2008 with the Atlanta Silverbacks. Now a huge addition for the Rhinos defensive line. Here's Gardner trying a little step over move. Crossed into the box from Gilkerson, up over the Rhinos defender, and Vallow makes the save. Some scary moments there as the former Rhino Luke Kremmelmeyer just looking for a bounce and trying to redirect it into the Rhinos' goal.
Yeah, he's a handful, obviously. I saw him a few times last year. He's one of the best players that the Rhinos had last year, so that was a big loss for us. And you can see tonight, obviously, he's a handful for us.
Here comes Gardner now, Pat, just outside the 18. He'll drive it with the left foot and harmlessly sails wide. Vallow says no deflection. The referee says yes. And what do you have? Another corner kick, number 7.
Really important for us to stay compact. When you start getting those long balls into the forward, it starts to stretch the defensive team. And because of that, then more opportunities arise. So we need to stay compact and realize that we're on the road, and if we're compact and we do put pressure on the ball, then we'll get that opportunity at some point in the game.
You're starting to see a bit of a stretch in the Rhinos lineup?
Yeah, especially that long ball into Bundu, and, with all the corner kicks, we're starting to see that the Rhinos are getting a little tired.
Another corner kick sent into the box, but foul on the play there. And Vallow still on the ground, gets the ball back, and he'll have a free kick from about 6 yards out. We're in the 22nd minute. No score, Rochester and Carolina. They've dodged a couple of bullets here early on, and yet to give Sewell any pressure down the other side of the pitch here as the Rhinos scoreless with the Railhawks. Rhinos coming back home after 8 games on the road. May 30th, they'll be home against the Montreal Impact. We'll have Soccer Sam on at halftime to talk about the raffle for the contest. You can have your name on the soccer stadium for a year. We'll have more details coming up at halftime. Rhinos now with possession inside of the Carolina half of the field, and you can't get Gregor and Menyanger on the same page there. Ball rolls out of play, throw-in for the Railhawks on the far side.
Yeah, you just have to be careful because you're going to get the opportunity to counterattack like this because Carolina keeps pushing forward, and when you get that counterattack, you do stretch your team. The defense has to pull up with the midfield and the forwards, and if that doesn't happen, then that'll create more space for both teams, but it tends to favor the home team.
We're 23 minutes in, and what you're seeing so far, is it what you expect from a kickoff game for the Rhinos? Again, they've had scrimmages and exhibitions, but nothing with the crucial points on the line.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, when you're away and it's a first game that, you're still trying to get those game legs, and you can see that they're not at that point, obviously. It's going to take, I would say, the 50, 60-minute mark, and you're going to see a difference. And I think that may be where Darren's going to have to make some subs. But like I said, what I would have liked to have seen more, and it's really hard because it's your first game, to get more touches on the ball and to create some confidence.
Jack Stewart, go ahead. Stewart with the foul there. He's going to have a free kick. Kremmelmeyer with the in-swinger at the 6th. Deflected up and away by the Rhinos defense. Tiger clears it away for the Rhinos. And free kicks, corner kicks coming from both sides for the Railhawks as Gilkerson steadies the ball at midfield. Plays it on the right side to McKenney. He'll pop one in the box, looking for some help there. Up in the air with the header is McKenney, but no challenge there as Vallow makes an easy save for the Rhinos. That's routine stuff for Scott Vallow, but they are putting pressure on the Rhinos 25 minutes in. Here's Tiger.
It's going to be key for Scott, especially with all these balls that are being whipped in. I mean, they're very good balls, so eventually, when you have enough of those coming into the 6, it's going to, create goals. So Scott's going to be able to push the defense forward, so it'll create more space for him to be able to come out and get the ball.
He's going to be a tired guy coming to that locker room. He's been seeing a lot of action here tonight as Gregor tries to push it forward. Atiena was checking for the ball, and it's played behind him.
Well, Bundu's obviously pushing up on Bertz and pushing him further back in front of Scott, and when you do that, then there's less chance for your goalie to come out and get these crosses.
And you can see why Bundu is such a handful up top. He played with Rennie last year in Cleveland, had a chance to go to Europe, and MLS decided to come back and join Martin Rennie with the Carolina Railhawks, and he had 11 goals last year, but you can see he is a handful, and I think Rennie very happy to have him back on his squad.
Yeah, it looks like the type of player that wears people down. And through the course of the game, obviously the earlier stages you can stay with him, but eventually just finds that little crack and he takes advantage of it.
Big, strong player, great with his back to the goal, and you can see him just getting his body in there, making things happen as there's some tangling up as Hines and Lowry. A couple words, hands to the head, but order is restored, and the Rhinos will get a free kick here. And, Pat, so many times in soccer you've seen one team under so much pressure, and then they get one chance, and they pop it in the back of the net. Hopefully for the Rhinos, this is one of those cases.
Yeah, I think it's a little early to do that, though, if you want to come away with a one-goal win.
It's going to be Menyanger. They're about 35 yards out on the far side, and, again, this is Sewell. Now we'll see what he can come up with as far as directing traffic on the free kick. The Rhinos, this is a great opportunity. Really, their first good look at goal should come from this one in the 26th minute. Now it's going to be the left foot of Gregor inside the 6, headed away there by Schulte. Makes a nice defensive clearance for the Railhawks. Gregor pops it back in with the head at the corner of the 18. Tiger still with possession. Good spin move. He's double teamed and cannot get around the Carolina defense. The Railhawks will just send it deep. Try to get their shape back as Bundu plays it off the chest, but it goes to Gregor. And some bounces here and there. The Rhinos will win possession. Sancho way back at the 35. He'll set it up with the right foot for the Rhinos. Tiger wide open. There's a huge gap on that far side. Takes advantage of it, pushes forward. Menyanger, one touch back outside to Gregor. Gregor, chip in the box. Sewell at the 6 makes the save. Now he's seeing some pressure here as the Rhinos gaining a bit of confidence in minute number 27.
Yeah, essentially what's happened here is that the Rhinos have been playing in a shell, so to speak, in their defensive half. And as soon as you get a team that's had a lot of touches like Railhawks have, and they're pushing forward, they're getting accustomed to just playing offensive. And then all of a sudden you get the opportunity where the Rhinos break out, and you do get a couple of touches, and you get forward very quickly, and you can get a goal from that. It certainly gives a different complexion to the game.
Kremmemeyer, top of the 18, looking to get through. He's got it at the right foot, deflected up off of Kenny Burtz, and it should be a goal kick for the Rhinos as he tried to clear it off a Carolina defender or attacking player. It is a goal kick for Rochester. So, Pat, a little cat and mouse is what the Rhinos might be looking at right now.
Yeah, and I mean, right now they had that opportunity to get forward, and it looked like we got a free kick from it, and we're getting touches on the ball forward, but we just can't get away from the game plan because all of a sudden you get this confidence and you think you can you think you can do something, and then you get countered.
It's in the back of the net before you know it.
Yeah, so you have to really play the game plan, and if the game plan was, let's drop off, give them the opportunity to play the ball around, and then eventually we'll get a goal from it. But remember that defense right now is important to us because we're still trying to get our game legs.
Defense is key right now. The Rhinos on the road. Joe Giuliano with former Rhino coach and USL Hall of Famer Pat Erickley in the 29th minute. The Rhinos and the Railhawks scoreless. And, Pat, you're just making a seamless transition from the sidelines to the booth. Doing a great job.
Thank you.
There's Tiger at midfield, and he's getting some more possession, trying to find space. Plays it forward to Atieno. To Gregor on the far side now. Gregor now with some time, able to turn there. Earl's nice little touch, gets around the defender. Here's Earl's corner of the 18, looking to swing one in the box. He slips, and it goes off the Carolina defender right into the arms of Sewell as he makes another save. We've seen him coming up quite a bit lately now, so it's good that Rochester playing in the Railhawks half of the field. Carolina 1-0, 2-1 winners on Saturday over the Minnesota Thunder. And, Pat, in that game, the Railhawks had a man advantage, I believe, for 65 minutes and still sneaking away with a 2-1 win.
Yeah, I mean, even when you're up a man, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to win the game. But, playing in the opener, getting a 2-1 win, Schulte obviously played a big part in that one.
Kevin Clinton as well, and former Rhino Hamed Diallo, Luke Kremmemeyer with two great opportunities that just sailed wide of the post, and that could have been 4-1, 5-1, but this didn't find the back of the net. Here's Atieno. He gets knocked down. Actually, Gregor gets knocked down right at midfield, and it'll be a free kick again for the Rhinos. Schulte, the two-time player of the year in the USL Second Division, gets called for the foul. The Rhinos play it short. Hines taken down, and again, they're going to call a foul here. It cannot. You got to be kidding me. He's calling a foul on Nurse. There's no way. Hines was taken down first. Yellow card for Chris Nurse, and that's coming here in the 30th minute. And I'm not sure about that call there, Pat.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a 50-50 ball. He did come through, though. He took him out pretty good there.
I thought he missed the first foul, though, on Hines. I thought he was taken down pretty hard. But it'll be a free kick nonetheless for the home team, the Railhawks, and I'm sure that's the first time of many that you heard me complain about the officials throughout the 2009 season.
Yeah, obviously, Nurse is going to have to be careful here. He can't go in on those 50-50 balls like he likes to.
Nurse, again, he's known as a ball winner. He's a rugged player, and look at this, a free kick coming up in a very dangerous opportunity. About 30 yards out, 25 yards out. Looks like Nurse, again, the one with the foul. And, Pat, this is a dangerous free kick for the Railhawks.
It is because, we've been watching them serve the ball very well into the box, and so they have some people that can obviously put the ball on the spot. So right now it looks like
Plotkin is one of the players over the ball. Vallo directing his wall. 32nd minute, no score in Carolina. The Railhawks with a very dangerous free kick. With the right foot, just played forward to Kremmemeyer. He'll try the right-footed blast. And
it was indirect, yeah.
No go there for the Railhawks. Plotkin plays it back now to Josh Gardner. He's on the near side. Ball comes over, tries to steal it. Can't. Younger now in a support position, able to slow him down as Nurse steps in. Another foul called here. They're going to call tugging on the jersey by Gregor, and a free kick again coming up for the Railhawks. And this is countless opportunities for Carolina. So free kick, it's Kremmelmeyer and Gardner on this near side, about 20 yards out. We'll see what the Railhawks come up with here. First game of the year for the Rhinos on My Country FM, Country 107.3. Joe Giuliano, Pat Erkley. Soccer Sam will join us at halftime of the Rhinos and the Railhawks. Kremmelmeyer, right foot, in-swinger at the 6. Bounces through, no one there, and Scott Vallow, arms up in the air. What's he saying to his players, Pat, or is he talking to the referee at this point?
Well, he's obviously talking to the referee. There had to be a foul there that didn't look like it was called, and obviously he's going to bark and get his point across, so the next time there's a foul, it's going to get called.
Sancho holding the back of his head, and there's just a mass of bodies in the box, and I think there was a push, and the referee, how he doesn't see it, you see one player just come flying out of the box, and he did make the call. Good call by the referee. Again, the first of many times you'll hear me congratulate an official this year. All right, here we go. It's a free kick for the Rhinos, 33rd minute. No score, Carolina and Rochester. Vallow, this is one thing, Pat, he is the master of.
Yeah, no question. He realizes we're on the road, and we need to take – he has a sense for whether we're taking a lot of pressure and when it's time to actually slow the game down. So we're talking about Scott Vallow here, and right now he's taking his time. He realizes he's also playing the clock. What time is it in the half? You know, as you start to get closer to the half, he obviously would like to take a little more time.
Is he on a fine line, though, there as far as maybe delaying the game, looking at yellow cards? Or, you know, it's got to be very, very cautious with that whole setup.
Yeah, you know, it depends on the referee, and obviously he gets a sense of that throughout the course of the game. The referee's not going to pull out his card right away. He's going to warn him, and then at that point he can decide, okay, maybe I can't buy as much time.
I've seen Vallow do that over the years, just take his time and win some valuable rest time for the Rochester Rhinos. And it's a long ball played in by the Rhinos. It cleared away there by the Railhawks. Josh Gardner, who's playing on the left side of midfield. He's had a lot of touches here tonight. Trying to get one back, but it goes out of play. It'll be a throw-in for the Rhinos. Don't forget, again, at halftime, we'll have Soccer Sam joining us. We'll have Pat Erkley's analysis of the first half and a little recap coming up as well as the Rhinos open up their 2009 season. Joe Giuliano, Pat Erkley getting you going here in 2009 as the Rhinos looking to pick up some valuable points in Carolina tonight. There's Gardner now. He'll play it up into the Rhinos half of the field. Chris Nurse, the ball winner, does it there with the header, but possession is lost by Gregor. Gardner playing it forward. Bundu, he's got Sancho on his back right now, and there is a yellow card that has been issued to Lowry for the Railhawks. That probably came on the contact inside of the box with Brent Sancho. So the Railhawks trying to make something happen here. Pat, Carolina's had a lot of pressure, a lot of opportunities in this half, but haven't been able to find the back of the net. If they go in scoreless, what's the talk by the coach for the Railhawks?
Well, I think he's going to tell them, look, we've been getting a lot of touches. We've been getting the ball delivered into the box a lot. We just have to continue to do those positive things. And with that many deliveries in the box, I would have to say that he's got to get more people in there to get on the end of those deliveries. And so I would focus on the positives, which would be, okay, we're doing this well, let's continue doing that, but let's get a few more people forward.
How about you,
here
Pat?
at home.
Do you miss those moments in the locker room between the half, or are you comfortable where you are now?
I'm comfortable. Obviously, you know, after doing it for 9 years and maybe not spending as much time as I would have liked to with my family. I was obviously extremely driven and focused.
Yeah, I've heard some stories about Pat Erkley in the locker room that got pretty intense. We'll just say that.
So I'm enjoying family life right now.
The Italian hot-blooded maybe coming out just a bit at times, but as a coach, you got to be a bit of an actor too, I guess, and kind of wear many hats.
Yeah, I mean you have to really motivate the team. Make them believe in themselves and really believe in the plan that you have and the system that you play. And you look at the players that you have and you try to develop a system that best suits them so they can gain that confidence, and hopefully by the end of the season they really believe in themselves and you can go on a run.
Winning 4 championships, I think they believed in your system. Here's a dangerous opportunity for Boondu, trying to play it inside the box. Left-footed shot at the goal. That should be offside. That's got to be offside, and it's not going to be a goal there. As Plotkin, I think he just made his run a little too soon there, but Boondu, he drew a huge crowd, Pat, and offsides, luckily for the Rhinos. Plotkin, no goal in the 37th minute.
Bertz and Sancho did a great job of pulling forward, and that's how we were able to get that offsides right there. There you go.
Yeah, definitely offsides ball. Sancho calling for it, and no goal there as the Railhawks thought they put one in behind Scotty Velo. Not going to go forward. It's still no score in the 37th minute at the Wake Med Soccer Park. Here comes Hines. He's taken down hard by Gardner.
That's
got to be a yellow card. Absolutely. Referee going to call him over and maybe give him a little verbal here. We'll see how this all shapes up. But hard tackle there. And the Railhawks will go back in the book. Looks like it's going to be actually Palladini with the yellow card in minute number 38. And Hines, he may have had some space ahead of him there, Pat. But Palladini, maybe in Rennie's eyes, that was a good foul to slow him down.
Yeah, no question. Obviously, the referee wants to keep control of the match, and that's a good call on his part.
Gregor now with the free kick from the near side. Sewell's up out of his box, and he off his line, and he wins possession here. Quick restart coming up for the Railhawks as Krippelmeyer tries to spring forward on the right side looking for Boondu. He's one-on-one with John Ball. Boondu, corner of the 18, cuts back to the middle. Left foot across the box for Gardner. He's one-on-one with Sancho. Gardner, left-footed shot up and over the bar as Gardner and the Railhawks looking to try to sneak one in here in minute number 38.
Yeah, when you have Boondu on the side like that, obviously when you're mismatched, you just have to be patient and force him to the outside of the field, and we allowed him to get on the inside, and that created more problems for our defense.
Sancho and Velo all over it there as Gardner just didn't get a clean look at the goal. 39th minute, no score from Carolina as the Rhinos and the Railhawks. For Railhawks, this is game number 2. For the Rhinos, this is the first game of 2009. Long goal kick by Velo. Up over midfield, Menyager now streaking forward, looking for some space. He plays it to Hines. Left-footed shot from Gregor, about 30 yards out, and no problems at all for Sewell, who actually began his career in Australia, has had some time in Belgium with Anderlecht, also some time with Liverpool and the Sheffield Wednesday Reserve. So that's a good goalkeeper in the nets for the Carolina Railhawks. Here's Gardner playing it forward now. He's looking for Palladini, but it's going to be run down here by Johnny Ball. Let's run out of play, and it'll be a goal kick now coming up for the Rochester Rhinos. 40th minute, no score, Rochester and Carolina. Although the Rhinos have seen a lot of pressure, no score yet. As we look at sponsors from these broadcasts, Free Time Magazine, available free or online anytime at freetime.com. And Finger Lakes Gaming and Racetrack, the fun starts here. All great sponsors of these Rhino broadcasts in 2009. Here's Atieno. He's just trying to make something happen. He's had a very quiet first half. Possession goes back to the Railhawks. Gardner plays it forward to Boondu. Tries to receive it, but Sancho comes in hard with the challenge, gets possession back for the Rhinos. Menyanger's knocked off the ball. Hard challenge here from Hines, comes in with the studs up, and it'll be cleared away by the Railhawks into the Rhinos' half of the field. Chris Nurse with the left bandage on the left knee, or the bandage on the left knee, plays it back to Johnny Ball. And going back to Atieno, Gregor played it to Chris Nurse. He'll switch the run of play there to the far side. Earls has got some space, gets it back onto the ground. Ryan Hines, a hard touch there. Actually almost lost possession, but Menyanger will slow things down. Carolina trying to force Menyanger back, little cheeky back heel to Nurse. Atieno, this is the best possession the Rhinos have seen. Johnny Ball, right-footed cross at the top of the 18. No one there but the Railhawks to clear it away. And there's cleared away by Johnny Ball. Now it's Plotkin for the Railhawks to Gardner. Palladini. Now with some time, Carolina trying to slow things down a little bit. Now they'll go forward to Boondu. Gets it off his chest, and when he comes to receive the ball, it's either Bertz or Sancho all over his back. It'll be a throw-in for the Rhinos off the leg of Plotkin. And looking at Brent Sancho down there, he's had a very busy half with Boondu, the international from Sierra Leone.
Well, important here, we're in the last 4 or 5 minutes that the Rhinos maintain their composure and don't give up a silly goal here. This is a time frame in any game where you can give up a goal, and we're getting forward and we're getting opportunities, but we got to protect the backside also.
Good to see Gregor and Gilkerson going hard on the challenge, and then a little handshake, make sure everything's okay. Tiger Fitzpatrick, Earls now, he's finding some space. He's kind of coming into the attack a little more here. Late in the first half, will move to his left, gets the cross into the box. Sewell inside the 6. That's the goalkeeper's home. His bread and butter makes the save there. 42nd minute, no score. Sewell now, he's the goaltender who's under a little more pressure than Scotty Vela. Hopefully for the Rhinos it stays that way here late in the first half. Don't forget at halftime, Soccer Sam coming up, talking about the newest promotion. You can name the stadium after yourself. We'll have that coming up at halftime. Also, Pat Erkley's analysis of game number 1 for the Rochester Rhinos in 2009. Here's a long ball there. Sancho tries to play it forward. Tiger a little asleep there. Krummelmeyer sneaks in and wins it to Plotkin. Plotkin dead center to Gardner. Corner of the 18. Played to Palladini. Trying to get around Sancho. Sancho steps in, and we'll have a goal kick coming up for the Rochester Rhinos. Good movement off the ball there from Palladini, trying to make something happen, the 24-year-old who played in the MLS reserves. And, Pat, now with the MLS reserves no longer in existence, you're seeing a lot of these players trickle into the USL First Division. It can only help the level of play.
Oh, no question. There was a point there where they were basically drying up all the talent. So it was tough really to maintain, 20 solid players. And now with those players coming out and joining USL 1, it obviously brought the level of play up.
We're seeing a lot of players from the MLS reserve making their way into the USL. And like Pat says, definitely bringing the level of play up. 1 minute left in the first half. There's no score. Rochester, Carolina. Tiger with a long ball. Trying to free out Tieno. Got behind him there, and the Railhawks will clear it away. WakeMed Soccer Park. Beautiful surface. 120 by 75. Beautiful conditions for soccer as well. Plotkin. Nice little flick. Tries to play it forward, but Johnny Ball reads it, and it goes right back to Plotkin. He'll streak down the left side here. Plays it to the middle of the park. And here is Krummelmeyer on the right side, corner of the 18. Tries to cross in the box, headed away there by Kenny Burtz. And what do you know, another corner kick for the Railhawks. This is corner kick number 9 in the first half. And Krummelmeyer now, he'll take it. So this is a bit of a different look. You've had Gardner with the in-swingers. Now Luke goes over there.
Yeah, obviously they want to change it up a little bit. It's been mostly balls driven in towards Scott. Now this one's going to come away from Scott. They decided not to do it.
They tried to trick us here, give the Rhinos a different look, and they say, no, Luke, get out of there.
They were probably trying to do a short corner, and we followed up and covered them well.
So Gardner with the left foot in-swinger. The service is getting better, headed away there by Johnny Menyanger, and it'll be a throw-in now deep in Railhawks territory. 1 minute of stoppage time. 1 minute of stoppage time here in the first half from the WakeMed Soccer Park. And the Railhawks long throw-in, header up and over the bar as it sails wide of Scott Vallo's net. And again, that's a defender, Jack Stewart, getting forward, trying to make something happen. He's age 25, out of Notre Dame. Big player. He's all Big East 2 times. Loves to get forward into the attack. And there's a good little chip by Schulte. Stewart just doesn't get the ball driven down.
That was actually, they got a header on it. That's so at halftime, I think we need to shore that up a little bit. They shouldn't be getting anything on the end of the ball.
There are some big boys who do come forward for the Railhawks. Gardner checking it to Bundu, and Bundu just does not have time to receive the ball. He is marked very tight by Sancho or Burtz. We are in stoppage time. 1 minute of stoppage time here from the WakeMed Soccer Park. Johnny Ball working up a sweat. He has been all over the pitch tonight. He'll take the throw in just inside midfield for the Rochester Rhinos. Gardner, left foot touch back to Palladini. Sancho skying up in the air. He's taken down by Plotkin. No call. The Rhinos retain possession. Menyanger to Hines. About 20 yards out, dead center. Hines trying to split 3 defenders. Not going to happen there as Krummelmeyer wins possession for the Carolina Railhawks. Here's Earls now. Rochester coming back towards Carolina's half of the field. And there's a nasty foul there by Lowry. And it's going to be Hines who's down holding the back of his head. And actually it's going to be Devin McKenney with the yellow card in first half stoppage time. And Pat, that is a nasty foul by McKenney. And maybe lucky not to see red instead of yellow as Hines is still down on the pitch holding the back of his head.
Yeah, no question. The thing is with that now is that puts 3 other players in jeopardy in the event they should commit another foul. There's a good chance that they could be shorthanded in the second half.
That's just, he's got contact on the shirt, contact on the body as Ryan Hines gets up slowly. He's a big pickup for the Rhinos, joined Rochester from Harrisburg last year. Played 5 years in the PDL, also spent 1 year in the game that you love so much, the Major Indoor Soccer League. There's Earls, good left-footed cross into the box. Atieno gets up for the header, driven down, and it's a save there by Sewell. Great look by the new forward for the Rochester Rhinos, Ty Atieno. And that'll do it for first half here in Carolina. We have no score. Rochester and Carolina coming back with you on the Rhinos. Welcome back to Rochester Rhinos Soccer. The 2009 season has 45 minutes in the books already. There's no score between the Rochester Rhinos and the Carolina Railhawks. Joe Giuliano with Pat Erkley as the Rhinos begin 2009. And Pat, for the Rhinos, your thoughts on the first 45 of the 09 season?
Well, I think, for the first 45, they've done a great job of maintaining their composure and staying tight. I think what they need to watch out for, and I think Darren's going to have to come up with some solution, but if they get the opportunity to have space on the ball and switch the field, they seem to be switching it from the left side to the right side, which ends up being Earls being double-teamed 2-1 on that side, and they're getting deep into the corner and getting the crosses over or getting the corner kicks. And so somehow we need to have that forward on that side drop back and help out. Otherwise, we're going to continue to get exposed like that, and they could essentially get some goals from it. But there at the half, towards the end of the half, we started to get forward and we started to create opportunities, and Ty had a great header there at the end. And had it not been right on goal, maybe on the corner or something, could have had a goal.
So you're seeing some more possession, some more life coming up from the Rhinos as we got deeper into the half?
It looks like, again, we have to be patient. It's a 90-minute game, and I think, like I said, towards the 60, 65-minute mark, we're going to see whether our game legs are going to hold up. I think we haven't expended a lot of energy. We stayed nicely in the shell, so I think we'll get those opportunities. It looks like they lost their focus a little bit towards the end of the half there, and we did get forward a little bit more.
Bundu, the big striker for the Railhawks, the Sierra Leone international. How do you think Bertz and Brent Sancho have handled that big striker, the big target man up top?
They're doing well with them. I think we have to watch out there. Our midfielders, especially our defensive tiger in there, has to realize that when he does get the ball and he can hold it up, that he is to come in and help double team on that play. And so they don't have an easy run of play of switching the field.
Great analysis from Pat Erkley. And for you, Pat, how are you feeling up in the broadcast booth tonight?
It sounds like I'm talking to the guys and telling them what to do.
That's why we got you. We got the best of the business, Pat Erkley, joining us, and there were 3 yellow cards in that first half for the Railhawks. Lowry, Palladini, McKenney. We'll keep an eye on those guys as the second half begins. 1 yellow card for the Rochester Rhinos. Nurse, that was in the 30th minute. He picks up a yellow card for the Rochester Rhinos. And we'll see what comes up next. We've got Soccer Sam joining us as well. We've got a huge promotion going on with the Rochester Rhinos. That's coming up next. The halftime show is brought to you by Marina Dodge, located at 941 Ridge Road in Webster. And welcome back to the Rhinos halftime show, brought to you by Marina Dodge, located at 941 Ridge Road, Webster. This segment of the show brought to you by Connolly Printing, the official printer of the Rochester Rhinos. No score, the Rhinos and the Railhawks. The Rhinos, 45 minutes of 2009 already in the books. And we're joined by the president of business operations, Soccer Sam. And Sammy, what a week here in Rochester as the briefcase gets turned around and all we see are 3 letters, Y-O-U.
The whole city, the whole country's talking about it right now. It's all over the boards, blogs everywhere. Here's the deal. Any season ticket holder that purchases 4 premium season tickets, you're going to go into a drawing at the home opener on May 30th against the Montreal Impact. Somebody is going to get their name on that building for the remainder of 2009. It could be a business. It could be a school. It could be a nonprofit. It could be a social group. It could be anybody, Joe. It could be you and Pat Erkley. It could be the Joe Giuliano Pat Erkley Stadium. I think that could happen.
We were all shocked because you guys kept this thing under wraps. Probably the best kept secret we've had in years. But talk about how the whole idea came about.
Well, we had a lot of sponsors that were interested, but a lot of them were trying to pretty much, let's say, try to get it for a minimal money. And I made a comment to my staff, and Rich Randall from our staff says, hey, if we're going to give it to a sponsor for nothing, let's give it to one of our fans. All of a sudden, my brains just started spinning, thinking, you know what? What an idea, Rich. Let's give it to the fans. Let's give it back. It's never been done before. He goes on the internet, Googles everything. Never, ever been done before. One team did it for a day as a promotion. This is for the remainder of the 2009 season. It could be your stadium. Anything out there. It could be a church group, a volunteer group, a nonprofit. Imagine Camp Good Days and Special Time Stadium, Food Link Stadium. It could be anything like that, and it's so cool.
What's the response been, first locally, then nationally? I know there's been some phone calls and some checks coming your way this last couple of days.
Yeah, yesterday was a record day in the history of the Rhinos for season tickets. The phones lit up. People were calling in, want to know all about it. And here's the beauty of it. All you fans that already got your tickets and all you sponsors that already, you're in it, man. If you already bought $1,200 worth of season tickets, you're going to get one chance to get the stadium name after you. If you're a sponsor and you already spent $20,000, don't think that, hey, I'm left out of this. No. We're going to contact you this week, and you're going to get 20 chances. So if a sponsor spends $50,000, they get 50 chances. If a fan buys 4 season tickets, they get one chance. And it's an amazing deal. Rob Clark's behind it. Matt Ford's behind it. I'm so excited.
Have you guys done any research on this whole situation? Has it ever been done in any sport?
Never. According to Rich Randall, has never been done in sport except for one team did it for a promotion. For one day, you could have the stadium in. But this is going to be really yours. There's going to be a plaque when you walk in, signs inside the building. It's going to be referred to your stadium, Rochester. Whoever you are, you win this thing. It's your stadium. So, you got those guys with the gold chains that go to the bars. It could be Tony Stadium. It could be whatever you want. I mean, think about it. I mean, people that have deceased loved ones that want to name it after their great-grandmother, great-grandfather. I mean, it could be anything you want it to be, and I'm so excited about it. And I thought maybe I was just a little off target with this, but based on the response I'm getting everywhere I go, people are really excited about it.
I know you were nervous about it going in. You're like, if this doesn't go over, this will be my last press conference ever. But, when there's not a company or a corporation who's on the line and really showing some deep interest in the whole situation, I think it's a great idea to open up this opportunity for everybody.
Blue Cross Arena, Frontier Field, the Staples Center, and your stadium. I mean, think about it. That is so huge. If you're a small company, a startup company, you don't need a lot of money to do this. Yeah. You can buy 4 premiums or 10 behind the goal seats. They call them bleacher seats. I call them behind the goal seats. You get 10 of those babies. So if there's 10 of you, you get $100 each. You buy 10 seats and put it after your company name. That's that simple. Your employees can go to the game, night out, relax, enjoy. Your team, Pro Pass. I know you're coaching high school. Get your high school team behind it. Imagine it could be the Greece. What is it? Athena. Greece Athena 2009 Stadium. It could be that. It could be the Webster Thomas 09 Stadium.
You had to say Webster Thomas. Thanks a lot.
Well, I just had to remind you how great they were.
I said, let me give you a bit of a breaker. Take a break. We'll come back with you in a second here. This is the Rhinos Broadcast Network. No score from Carolina. Rochester kicking off the 2009 season. And welcome back to the Rochester Rhinos halftime show. This first half recap is brought to you by Time Warner. The MLS Direct Kick. Don't miss out on all the action. Call Time Warner Cable today to order the MLS Direct Kick soccer package. Joe Giuliano with Soccer Sam. Well, we talked about the naming rights raffle for the Rochester Rhinos. Now there's also some big news. International exhibition match.
The women's national team, Abby Wambach. She's just coasting on those 100 goals. She needs 100 goals in your name stadium, the no-name stadium. This could happen, and they're playing against Canada up the street. All the Canadians are all going to come here. So all you Rochester fans, you got to get tickets for this baby. It goes on sale Monday morning. The announcement's coming up. Jeff DeVeronica kind of broke the news. Rob Clark talked about it on the pregame show.
Absolutely.
This is huge. Abby Wambach, the women's national team, on tour, coming to Rochester for a friendly exhibition.
Now, I also understand it's going to be on ESPN, so some more national coverage for whoever gets the name of the stadium.
We're trying to black it out locally, if we could.
No, but think about it. You're watching ESPN on tape delay.
Right.
And, you've got the Soccer Sam Stadium.
That would be wild, Joe. And the other thing, Mike Moran, Spinning Webs, brand new website. Go to rhinosoccer.com right now and just check it out. Brand new, all kinds of things. We have Facebook now. We got this Twitter thing. Twitter. There you go. Twitter. If you got a cell phone, you go to Twitter. Twitter/Rhino Soccer. You put in the thing, and now let's say you're at a wedding. The thing will tell you the score, any yellow cards, goals. It's just amazing.
And your wife gives you a smack upside your head. You put the phone away. But there's a lot going on. As the president of business operations, you had a full year now under your belt, and is it what you've expected, or is it much more?
It's a lot of fun. I'm obviously not as involved with the team, like watching soccer. I like sitting there with a bucket of popcorn and watching the game. I haven't been to any of the practices. I really don't even recognize some of the players, but I'm loving this thing. And you fans, 454 Kick Monday morning, get your name on our stadium. I'm out.
All right, Soccer Sam, thank you very much. And the players coming back onto the field. We'll be back with second half action on Rochester's Country 107.3.
Yellow Book is the innovative local directory that will always help you find what you're really looking for, in print and online. Whether you're a consumer searching for products and services or a business searching for customers, Yellow Book is committed to helping you make that connection. For information, call 1-800-YB-YELLOW. That's 1-800-YB-YELLOW. Or visit yellowbook.com today. Yellow Book and yellowbook.com.
On the Rhinos Broadcast Network, second half just about to get underway. It'll be a kickoff for the Railhawks. They'll be attacking the goal to our right, wearing the orange shirts, blue shorts, and white socks. The Rhinos in the Juventus-like jerseys with the black shorts and black socks. We'll check on any changes to start the second half here at Wake Med Soccer Park. And Pat, the Rhinos, great opportunity from Atieno. Hopefully they continue coming forward at the Railhawks here as the kickoff goes deep into Rochester territory. Kremmelmeyer goes one-on-one, tries a little spin move on Danny Earls as the Railhawks looking to get deep into Rochester territory right to start this half. Kremmelmeyer again now on the flank, crosses the ball in the box, top of the box, and it's cleared away there by Brent Sancho as Bundu got a foot to it, but Sancho in the right place to knock it off the line for the Rhinos. Now they come on the counterattack. Atieno is taken down at midfield, and there's going to be a call here against the Railhawks. Free kick for Rochester right at midfield, and some pressure to start the second half, Pat.
Yeah, and there's no question. Obviously, they were in the locker room, and Coach obviously had a few words to say. And they got forward very quickly and created that opportunity.
So it'll be a free kick just inside the midfield circle as Jack Stewart gets a verbal from the official. And I love that reaction. Arms up in the air. What did I do? Anything? Here's Tiger Fitzpatrick to Hines. Can't win possession here. Kremmelmeyer now on the near side, right in front of the Rhinos bench, sends a deep ball. It's going to be a foot race as Burtz beats Bundu to it. Bundu tries to get the inside position, but Burtz is so big and strong, he'll knock it back into Carolina territory. Play deep there, and it's going to go right to Schulte. He's got all day now. We're checking at Stewart. He'll play it back to Sewell. And the Railhawks are slowing things down here at the start of the second half. No score. They 1 minute stoppage time in the first half. And now we begin half number 2 of the 2009 season. Hines has got bodies all over him, retains possession, gets it back out to Tiger Fitzpatrick, who's on the left flank. He's one-on-one with Luke Kremmelmeyer. 2 former teammates. Tiger turns the corner, cross in the box. Header missed there by Johnny Ball, and the Railhawks will come out of their own 18 with possession. This is Gilkerson. He's looking for some help. Play it over midfield. Bundu tries to check back and does beat Nurse to the ball. He's got possession on the far side. Bundu in the middle to Palladini. Palladini tries to cut back into Chris Nurse, and he'll lose possession every time there for the Railhawks. Here's Hines. Plays it back now to Danny Earls. To Kenny Burtz just outside the 18. Some possession coming up from the Rhinos. Gregor to Tiger. Back to Gregor. 35 yards out. Plays a left-footed pass here to Danny Earls. Off the chest, neatly down to the feet. Some pressure from Kremmelmeyer forcing him back to Kenny Burtz. Gregor, nice little flick there, a little 1-2 with Ryan Hines. Tries to play the through ball to Atieno, and Schulte is there to clear it, and the header goes back to Sewell. There's some good movement there by the Rhinos, Pat.
Yeah, they just have to, again, realize that the longer this game goes, the more pressure that's going to be on the home team, and the more opportunities will come our way with counterattacks.
Here's Bundu, fights off a body, fights off another body, top of the 18, plays it out to the left. Josh Gardner, hard left-footed shot, and a great save from Scotty Vallow as he dives to his left. It'll be a throw-in coming up for the Railhawks, and Bundu did a great job fighting off defenders, and then just lays it off for the streaking Josh Gardner.
Yeah, just a great opportunity there. Scott made a tremendous save. He cut off the angle and put it wide, so we got a corner kick coming up here.
I thought it was a throw-in, but it did go off of Danny Earl's corner kick now coming up for the Railhawks. Gardner, we've seen this left-footed swinger, comes into the box. Cleared up off the line for Gardner again. He's got possession for the Railhawks to Jack Stewart. He's got Manyanger on his back. Stewart's got to go backwards and begin the attack again for Carolina. Palladini, 35 yards out. Plays it inside to Kremmelmeyer. Turns on Johnny Manyanger. Luke with the left-footed shot. Bundu gets it off the right thigh, and it's cleared away there by Ty Atieno. He's coming all the way back with some defensive responsibilities. Game starting to get a little more exciting here in the second half. Nice little touch there from Plotkin. Read well there by the Rhinos, and they'll win a throw-in on the far side.
Yeah, just on the corner kick there, I mean, they took the corner kick, the ball went back to the kicker. If our defenders play off the posts a little bit, then that becomes an offside. And we don't have all the pressure continuing on our end.
Good point. I wondered how Gardner stayed in an onside position there. He was definitely on the end line. Through ball looking for Bundu. He's offsides. That's his first offsides of the game. He had one earlier on Plotkin, but Bundu, you get the feeling he's just looking to break through as he and Sancho have a couple of words, and that's been a battle all night long.
Yeah, he's obviously a strong player. He's going to wear people down throughout the course of the game, and it'll get stronger towards the end.
So a free kick for the Rhinos. Looks like Valo's coming all the way up to take the kick here for Rochester. And Sancho directing traffic. That's what you get from a player assistant coach. You get a lot of help on the pitch as well as on the sidelines with Brent Sancho. Ball's played to the corner of the 18 on the far side for the Rhinos. Out of play, throw-in coming up for the Carolina Railhawks. We're in the 52nd minute. It'll be a throw-in for Gilkerson. He was a 2008 draft pick of the Red Bulls. Went on loan to the Richmond Kickers, 23-year-old. Now making his first season here with the Carolina Railhawks. Throw-in for Carolina. Again on the far side, it's Gilkerson. Plays it with the left foot over to the back defender. Mark Schulte pops one high up in the air, trying to make something happen, and Sancho just lets it roll out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in now coming up for the Rhinos. 52nd minute, we've got no score here in Carolina as the Rhinos open up the 2009 season. Sponsors of the Rhinos broadcast include the Harrow East Athletic Club, 400 Andrews Street in Rochester, and Health Source Chiropractic, your partners in complete health. Here come the Railhawks. Through ball for Kremmelmeyer. Tries to toe poke us off the post and goes back to Scott Valor. What an opportunity for the Railhawks and former Rochester Rhino Luke Kremmelmeyer. He'll want that one back.
Yeah. Oh, Scott cut off the angle very well, and he just forced him to play the ball to the side, and obviously the post was his friend.
Actually,
came right back to him.
It was Palladini, number 11, who got the service from Kremmelmeyer, and look at that post bouncing back to the Rhinos goalkeeper. It's still scoreless here in Carolina as the Railhawks almost making it 1-0. They've got possession now.
We're actually pushing forward, which is creating more spaces between our players. And
Bundu, left-footed shot just up over the bar. I think Sancho doing enough to knock him off balance. Doesn't give him a good look at the goal here. And looks like there's going to be another service coming from the flank for the Railhawks. And wow, Palladini and Luke Kremmelmeyer connecting there to try and make it 1-0. Palladini, the 24-year-old, played with LA and DC. Also one game with Chivas USA of Major League Soccer. Corner kick again for Carolina, 54th minute. Kremmelmeyer on the far side. We'll see what he can come up with. Looks like they're set up for the short corner, but Rochester reads it well. And they'll force Kremmelmeyer to serve one into the box. Some big targets, Schulte, Stewart in the box options for the Railhawks. Here's the in-swinger. It's a high kick at the corner of the six, headed away there by Ryan Hines. Played back to this near side. Here's Schulte. Right-footed cross, goes all the way across the goal mouth, headed away there by Johnny Ball. Still possession for Gardner and the Railhawks on the far side. Cross into the box, left-footed shot, Bundu has scored! Bundu finally gets one in the back of the net in minute number 54, and Pat, just a matter of time before Bundu takes it and finds the back of the net. It's 1-0 Carolina.
Tremendous finish, tremendous. Obviously, he was in 10 yards out, and he connected well off that ball coming from the line. And that's what happens. Your defenders get turned in that situation, and he was kind of coming in behind the defense and was able to connect, and Scott didn't have a chance on that.
For Boondu, that's his first goal of the year. It comes in the 54th minute. Looks like Gardner will get the assist, and the Railhawks have a 1-0 lead. And just a lot of pressure coming from the flanks, and Gardner with the left foot gets it into the box, and Boondu, the Sierra Leone international, makes it pay for the Railhawks. 1-0, they lead the Rhinos.
Yeah, it was just a matter of time. Obviously, they've been putting a lot of balls into the box, and eventually that's what's going to happen. You're going to get caught on one of them, and they put it away very well. So now it gives us a different complexion in the game, and obviously the Rhinos are going to have to push a little more forward to get back in this.
So Railhawks get the kickoff back from Rochester, send Boondu through, but he's offsides again as the Railhawks have a 1-0 lead in minute number 55. It's Boondu with the goal. He's got his first Saliu Boondu, the Sierra Leone international, and you can see why he's such a strong presence in the box. He makes it 1-0. Rochester with a free kick sent to the top of the 18, headed away there by Schulte. The Rhinos trying to get back into this one. They trail 1-0. Played forward, now here is Plotkin, looking for Boondu, but read there by Sancho. Makes his first foray into the attack for the Rochester Rhinos. Tries to play it forward, just a little too far for Ryan Hines. As Rochester now, Pat, trailing 1-0. The Railhawks, they led 1-0 last week against Minnesota, but 5 minutes later gave up the equalizer. Hopefully we'll see the same thing here tonight. There's the long throw and taken there. Kenny Burtz wins the header.
Well, that's where you're most vulnerable. After you've scored a goal or the beginning and the end of halves, that's typically the time where you concede goals. And so here's an opportunity. The Rhinos just have to get forward to get people in the box and possibly get a goal.
Tilly up off the bench trying to make some changes. Looks like there's a few players warming up as the Rhinos trying to get back into this one. Earls with a throw-in on the near side for Rochester. 57th minute. 1-0 Railhawks. Menyager does a nice job to win possession. Some fancy footwork. Back to Tiger Fitzpatrick. Danny Earls overlapping, trying to get through. Broken up there by Luke Krummelmeyer and the Railhawks. They got possession back. Schulte sends one deep up over midfield, trying to spring Boondu on a through ball. Not going to happen as Burtz and Sancho are there for the Rhinos. Here's Nurse, Gregor to Tiger. Some quick little touches in a small space for the Rhinos. Sancho on the far side, he's definitely pushing up a little more here. There's a takedown about 40 yards out by the Railhawks, and it's Hines who's really taking a beating tonight. He's down on the pitch. Josh Gardner, the service is there on Ryan Hines. Quick restart, played up over the head of Tiger Fitzpatrick. Krummelmeyer pops it up in the air. Burtz coming up over the back of Boondu. No call, and Boondu's got possession. Burtz slow to get up. Railhawks with possession. Plotkin. Takedown from behind. Now it's Earls. He's going to go in the book, and look at this. We have got our first red card of the season. Danny Earls sent off. The challenge from behind. That's in minute number 58. And Pat, things don't get better for the Rhinos.
Yeah, I don't think that deserved a red card. Obviously, being down a goal. Actually, I was going to talk about the fact that they were carrying 3 yellow cards and were, putting themselves in a chance of possibly being down a man. But now here we are down a man, and it's obviously going to make it more difficult for us to get back in this game.
Yeah, I agree. That's a tough call. Yellow card for sure. Tackle from behind, but red card. Way too harsh. It's Krummelmeyer who took the challenge from behind. I think the referee a little too quick going into the back pocket. I was shocked to see him reach to the back pocket. But 58th minute, now Rochester's got to change their whole style of play here as they've got one less player, and it's like deja vu with Minnesota last week. They were down a man, but they scored right away. Hopefully the Rhinos will have the same kind of luck here in Carolina tonight.
Yeah, obviously you don't want to leave your feet and go in on a slide tackle like that, and that's obviously what the referee saw. And when you go in and you hit a person from behind like that with your bottom of your foot, with your studs showing, that becomes the issue.
It's getting chippy out there. There's a lot of hard challenges, hard tackles coming from both ways. There's Jack Stewart. He's pushing up, gets it to Plotkin. He's going to turn to his left foot, tries the left-footed shot up and over the bar. And Pat will put the coaching hat back on. Your left fullback, who likes to push into the attack, is sent off with a red card. You're on the road. What's the next move from a coaching standpoint?
Well, you're obviously going to play 3 people at the back.
So you don't bring someone else back and go with 4 in the back. You stay with the 3 in the back, so shift out either Sancho or Burtz. One of those guys is going to have to come out on the flank, and we'll see how comfortable they are moving from the center of the park for the Rochester Rhinos. So it's going to be Rochester playing with one less man for the next 30 minutes. They trail 1-0. Plotkin's knocked off the ball by Kenny Burtz. Greger's got some time to turn, plays it forward. He's looking for Atieno, but Schulte is there for the Railhawks, and he'll clear it back into the Rhinos' half of the field. Here's John Ball. He's got possession. Nice job off the chest to Atieno. One touch back to Johnny Ball. Plays it forward to Manyager. Top of the 18. Manyager, left-footed shot. It's blocked away there. Falls to Hines. Corner of the 18. He tries a volley, and it just goes harmlessly to the Railhawks defender. Good opportunity there for Johnny Manyager. The shot is blocked. Here is Hines to Greger. Top of the 18. Fouls, bodies flying all over the place. And look what we've got here. A great opportunity for the Rochester Rhinos. Gilkerson takes down Andrew Greger, and a great free kick for the Rhinos. Quick restart from Tiger Fitzpatrick, crossed into the box. Manyager with a right-footed volley. It's blocked again. Tiger, left-footed shot. Up and headed away by the Railhawks defense. Rochester with some good pressure. A left-footed shot again coming from Greger. And that's just a roller to Sewell. And Pat, I don't know, was the restart, a quick restart, a good choice there for the Rhinos as they headed about 20 yards out and had a real good look at goal.
Yeah, obviously they got quite a few opportunities out of it. Tiger had a great shot there. Defender was able to block it. But, I think it played well for them at that point.
61st minute, Rochester now coming with some pressure. Atieno trying to block the kick of Sewell. He can't do it there. As the Rhinos, Kenny Burtz has possession, 35 yards out. Looks like Nurse is on this left side replacing Earls, who's been sent off in the 58th minute for a challenge from behind. Here's Johnny Manyager to Hines at the top of the 18, lets it roll through. Schulte reads it and destroys the play there. Here comes Tiger Fitzpatrick. Through ball, looking for Manyager. All sorts of orange bodies in the box. The Rhinos can't penetrate. As Burtz now pushing up over midfield, plays it back to Brent Sancho, former member of the Atlanta Silverbacks. Sancho, long ball, looking for Atieno, who tries to flick it forward. No one moving off the ball for Atieno, and Manyager now pressuring Sewell as he'll throw it out of play. There's a player down, Bundu, at midfield, laying down, and I'm sure it's from Burtz or Sancho with the hard challenges. Substitution also coming up here in the second half. We are in the 62nd minute, and it's going to be Darren Kenton coming on for the Rochester Rhinos. He'll be replacing Andrew Greger. So Kenton, what a pickup he has been. What a resume. 2008 with Cheltenham in League One, England. Also spent some time with Leeds and Leicester. And Cheltenham wanted to sign Kenton to an 18-month contract. Decided, nope, I want to come to North America. Had a trial with Toronto FC of Major League Soccer. But Kenton, the 30-year-old, now ending up with the Rochester Rhinos. He'll replace Andrew Greger. So we'll see what the tactical adjustment is here as Greger gets a handshake from Darren Tilley. Darren Kenton making his debut in the 63rd minute for the Rochester Rhinos, and Bundu actually going into the locker room. He has been replaced by Gavin Glinton, and Glinton's Pat is a player who scored a great goal last week. He is explosive, and maybe against the tired Rhinos defense, his speed could be a factor.
Well, obviously there's going to be more space back there for them to expose, and with you want to get somebody in there with speed. But on the same token, bringing Greger out at this point, you're getting somebody in with fresh legs, and that's important too for us.
So what does it do to the Railhawks attack against the Rhinos defense, where you've got Bundu, who's a big physical presence, he's out of the game. Now you've got the speed of Glinton.
You have to adjust, obviously, because you've been used to, getting pounded by a heavier set physical player. And now you have somebody that's probably not going to be that physical at all, but is going to get into open space. So you do have to be careful. But in essence, at this point, we're getting forward, and that's the important thing. And we're trying to create opportunities, and we've had a few.
Manyager's in the box on the near side. He just runs out of gas. He falls down, and Schulte gets possession for the Railhawks. Kenton with a good ball played there. Through ball for Johnny Manyager. Here's Nurse. Back to Brent Sancho for the Rochester Rhinos. Sancho, the player assistant coach. Also been with Charleston and Portland in the USL First Division. Chris Nurse, back to John Ball. And the Rhinos trying to get some kind of attack going. 65th minute, they trail 1-0. The season opener for Rochester in Carolina this evening. Darren Kenton, a ton of experience, the 30-year-old coming from England, makes his debut in North America with the Rochester Rhinos. Burtz tries to play it through Kremmelmeyer, but he's got possession now, and here come the Railhawks. Tiger Fitzpatrick, good slide tackle, tries to slow down the attack of Gilkerson. He cannot, and here comes Carolina with some space. Through ball, behind the defense, Gardner, through to Clinton, top of the 18, left-footed shot, just wide of the net. And there's no goal there coming up for the Railhawks as they kind of find some open space. Plotkin and Glinton finding the open space with that one less defender out there.
Well, one less defender, and then when Burtz comes forward and loses the ball in the midfield, it creates that counterattack.
Even more or less, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, you got to be careful, especially the back three. You got to be able to make those passes and really don't, make a bad pass, because that'll create that counterattack on 3 players, on 2 players in that situation.
Yeah, you saw a huge giveaway there as the Rhinos going back to the bench. Number 8, Mauricio Salas now comes on. He'll replace Ryan Hines, and Pat Mauricio, very technical, very skilled player, missed a huge portion of the season last year with an injury, but expecting big things from Mauricio this year.
Yeah, he's the type of player, I think he was in the league when I was there, too.
Yeah, in Puerto Rico.
So he, he's the type of player that can change a game for you. So bringing him in at this point, hopefully we'll get the ball forward. He's got a great shot, and you never know, something will come of it.
Plotkin taken down. The referee says, let's play on as Tiger comes away with it for the Rhinos. We'll see if Salas and Atieno can create some magic up top for Rochester as we are in the 66th minute. The Railhawks with a 1-0 lead on a goal by Bondu from Gardner in the 54th minute. And as another player down, we'll say it's Plotkin, who was taken down as the player advantage was called. And he definitely got taken down from behind, but the referee feeling not enough to create a foul. So play slows down here. Plotkin not being seen by the trainer just yet. As Rochester, sponsors of these broadcasts include Marina Dodge Mitsubishi, located at 941 Ridge Road, Webster. Salvatore's Pizza, a family born and raised in Rochester, New York, and proud of it. The Smoking and Health Action Coalition. Smoking and Health Action Coalition. For more information, go to smokefreemonroe.com. And Stokes, Vista and Company, certified public accountants, the official CPAs of the Rochester Rhinos. Back to play here in Carolina. Kremmelmeyer back to Jack Stewart. Hard challenge there from Tiger Fitzpatrick, trying to make something happen for the Rhinos. And Kenton, good shoulder challenge there, called for the foul, as he shows he's also a physical player for the Rochester Rhinos. Kremmelmeyer again on the tail end of that one. He took a nice little shot there from Earls, and now Kenton sends the message as well. Here's Palladini to Kremmelmeyer on the near side. You got Jack Stewart overlapping. The Railhawks decide to go to the other side of the pitch. Now it's back to Kremmelmeyer. He's got some space to push forward. Top of the 18. Kremmelmeyer to the flank. Driven ball across the box. Fellow gets a piece of it and makes the save for the Rhinos as Sancho clears it out of danger. Carolina with a good opportunity there. Again, getting in behind the Rochester Rhinos defense, and a great save from Scott Vallow. Plotkin on the far side just chips it in neatly to Kremmelmeyer. Tries to play it up over his head. It goes to Gardner now on the far side, just outside the 18. Here's Palladini. Takes a look up. Decides to go backwards with it to Plotkin. Here come the Railhawks again with Gilkerson. On the near side now, Stewart's pushing forward. He's got some time here. Tiger coming out slowly with some pressure. The Railhawks with the man advantage lose the ball. Nurse sends a through ball. He's got Atieno streaking in at the corner of the 18 on the near side. Atieno one-on-one. Tries to get around the Railhawks defender, and look at that defending. Holds up Atieno. And, Pat, look at the orange shirts recovered. Yeah. Jack Stewart and crew flying back to help out.
10v1.
He had a split second of a gap there, and then it was unbelievable the amount of orange shirts coming back and shutting the door for the Railhawks. But a good long ball from Kenton trying to spring Atieno. Throw in here on the near side for Kenton and the Rhinos. He's got possession. Kremmelmeyer grabbing the shirt, but Kenton showing some strength there. Plays it to Tiger. Corner flag on the near side. Good cross in the box. No one there for Rochester. Caleb Sewell with the save for the Railhawks. We are in the 69th minute. Carolina with a 1-0 lead on the goal from Bundu, his first goal in the USL First Division with the Carolina Railhawks. Sancho showing some pressure. Wins it inside the Carolina half of the field. He's pushing forward now on the right side. Plays it to the top of the 18, looking for Salas. He's late coming in on the Rhinos attack. Here's Gavin Glinton. Center now with some time, plays it out to Gardner. Gardner looks for Glinton. Kenny Burtz reads, anticipates the play very well. He's got possession at his right foot. There's going to be an offsides call here. As Sancho coming from an offsides position to receive the ball. That's probably a spot he's not too used to playing up top as he gets nailed on the offsides call. 70th minute here, 20 minutes left. Rochester trying to make something happen as the Railhawks. Tiger Fitzpatrick at the 18. He'll get possession here for the Rhinos. To Nurse, he loses possession, but Burtz will come in and just blast it away as Rochester trying to settle down in the back.
Yeah, I mean, playing the man down and getting forward like we are, obviously we're going to create some opportunities, hopefully, but on the same token, then we're opening up a little more at the back. But being 1-0 down, you got to take your opportunities.
Right-footed shot and a save by Scott Vallow. Nice save there by the Rhinos goaltender as he makes it stay at 1-0. But again, the space now starting to open up in the back. That's the risk you take, I guess, when you push up with one less man. And Carolina now late in the game, 71st minute, starting to find those spaces. Here's Plotkin. He's had some time now to switch the ball here to Krummelmeyer on the near side. Kenton comes over. Krummelmeyer with a poor touch, just knocked it off his shin. It'll be a goal kick for the Rochester. And sponsors of these broadcasts include the Strath Allen Hotel. Experience it all. 20-toe photo for Rhinos action photos. Visit 20toephoto.com. And Time Warner, the MLS Direct Kick. Don't miss out on all the action. Call Time Warner Cable today to order the MLS Direct Kick soccer package. 71st minute in Carolina. Still Rochester trailing by 1. Long ball for Atieno on the far side. Both players tumble. Ball rolls out of play. Stewart and Atieno. Goal kick for the Carolina Railhawks. So, Pat, for Rochester, 8 straight games on the road. They come home May 30th. Take on the Montreal Impact. And, wow, did we have some games with Montreal over the years? What's one of your highlights of the Montreal series? Any certain game come to mind?
So I say that first year when we were trying to make the playoffs and they were, leading the league and, it looked like an easy walk for them to win the championship, and they came in here in the last game of the season and could have spoiled our run in the playoff. We were trying to make the playoffs, and big fight ensued. Yeah. A couple of red cards. We win the game, and then we go off and beat them twice in the playoff.
The intensity was just incredible. The Rhinos had a great opportunity. Mauricio Salas, he took it with the right foot at the top of the 18, and a great save by Sewell. Then the rebound coming out to Johnny Minyanger. He switches it to his left foot. Rebound played in there, and Sewell gets on top of it. So Rochester in the 73rd minute. Very good look at goal there from Mauricio Salas as Glinton now has possession for the Railhawks. Jack Stewart, long ball, trying to spring Krummelmeyer on the near side. He does. Krummelmeyer trying to sneak in behind Kenton. Plays it to the top of the 6. No one there, but Johnny Ball to clear it out for the Rochester Rhinos. Carolina and Rochester, now it's Glinton. He's at the top of the 18.
I mean, we're still in good shape here. It's only 1-0, and we just had that one opportunity, and we're getting forward. So, we're still in this game. There's a good chance we can pull one out here.
Here's Atieno on the far side. Plays it out. It goes off the Rhinos' attack, John Ball, and it's going to be a goal kick coming up for the Carolina Railhawks. Minute number 73, and Salas coming off the bench could have been the hero if he found the back of the net there. As Sewell gets a goal kick for the Railhawks. Rochester kicking off the 2009 season at a very familiar place in Carolina. Rochester going to the bench once again. Looks like it's going to be Chris Nurse coming off for the Rhinos in minute number 74. He's had a tough game. He's been involved in a lot of hard challenges as he gets nice congratulations. And he'll head on to the pitch. So Nurse off. And it's going to be Nathaniel Short, also his real name, comes on for the Rochester Rhinos. And Short, he's going to see what he can create out of the midfield, out of Lynn University. Actually was the roommate of Timmy Melia, the backup goalkeeper for the Rochester Rhinos. So Nathaniel Short on for Chris Nurse in minute number 74. Rochester trying to create something here. A draw here in these circumstances would be a very, very respectable result.
Yeah, I mean, with 8 games on the road, especially early on the season like this, it'd be great to get some points, and 1 point's better than none.
Here's Glinton, top of the 18. Krummelmeyer takes a poor touch, and what a great tackle from Darren Kenton Luke Kremmelmeyer had all day. He just pops the ball up in there. That gave Kenton enough time to come over. And with a great slide tackle, stops the former Rhino from making it 2-0. Here's Tiger Fitzpatrick. Long ball inside the box, and Sewell easily scoops that thing up.
See, now, if I'm the Railhawks, I'd be somewhat disappointed right now. You're up a man, you're winning 1-0, and the last thing you want to do is trade off opportunities with the other team. Because as much as you're getting an opportunity to go forward and get a goal, you're also giving up opportunities at the other end of the field, and you don't need to.
It's a great point. The points are almost in the bag. Not bring it home with some security, and the Railhawks are definitely living on the edge here. Here's Menyanger. Gets it taken away there by Short.
And all they have to do is really keep possession of the ball, knock it around, and see, they're getting people forward and they're getting their opportunities. No question that you want to continue to get forward, but you got to stay compact as a team, and that's what they're not doing right now. And they're giving Rochester the opportunity to get back in this game.
And we'll see if that backfires on the Carolina Railhawks, as now they're starting to play that little possession, knock it around, slow things down.
I think they heard me.
You'll have a word from the President's Soccer Sam in a few minutes, I'm sure. Here come the Railhawks again. Now they just start the attack again. Kenton to Kremmelmeyer now. Right-footed shot. He wants to score so bad against the Rochester Rhinos, his former club, where he had 4 goals and 9 assists. It just doesn't happen. His shot is blocked there, as the Railhawks will get another corner kick here in minute number 76. Another substitution coming up, this one for Carolina, as they're going to get some fresh legs in. It looks like it's going to be Josh Gardner, who really had a great game tonight. He comes off in minute number 76 for Carolina. His services on those corner kicks were deadly this evening as he got deeper into the game. And
it's always tough to come in at this point in the game when you're absorbing some pressure from a team that's playing a man down and you're a fresh player coming in. So that's another opportunity for the Rhinos.
It's Cunliffe coming in for him. He was just signed by the Railhawks. Corner kick at the near side of the 6, cleared away by the Rhinos. It's Plotkin again. He'll drive it into the box, cleared away by Darren Kenton, who's had a real strong showing so far for the Rochester Rhinos. Then Younger. Long ball from Johnny Ball to Mauricio Salas. Just can't contain it. And the Railhawks win possession again. Cunliffe, a 24-year-old, just come onto the pitch, spent 2008 with the San Jose Earthquakes. Plotkin looking for Kremmelmeyer. He's still on sides. Can he keep it in bounds? Yes, he does. One-on-one, Kremmelmeyer and Kenton. Kenton plays him to the near line, and the save by Scott Vallow, very routine stuff, but you can see the experience of Kenton. Doesn't get nervous, plays one-on-one very well. Here come the Railhawks now. Forward now, Lowry to Kremmelmeyer. Liking this matchup, Kenton and Kremmelmeyer. Plays it to Gavin Glinton. Now plays it back to Lowry. Forward. Taking some time, eating away at the clock. 78th minute, Railhawks 1-0 lead over the Rochester Rhinos. Step in there by Short, one there by Tiger Fitzpatrick. This is Atieno right at the midfield circle. Plays it back to Tiger. Now Short to Sancho, to Burtz. Rochester not with any urgency just yet. They've got about 12 minutes to get back into the game, knocking it around. Good build-up, getting over midfield. Here's Nato Short. Tiger right at midfield. Long ball. Tiger Fitzpatrick at the top of the 18, looking to get Salas through, but Schulte, the big defender, is there for the Railhawks. Here comes Carolina, tries to keep it in play. No, it'll go out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in for Carolina. And they're going to take their time here now. Pat, late in the game, they're not going to have any urgency as McKenney slowly walks up to the ball, takes his time.
Yeah,
nice little flick there. Clinton now gets around one Rhino defender, still at top of the 18, gets around Sancho, tries to get around Johnny Ball, and that's a great defensive play by the number 13 for Rochester, tired against the fresh legs of Gavin Glinton.
Yeah, they're using their smarts a little bit more here. They're obviously not playing that back and forth type of game, and they're obviously being a little more patient now, realizing that they have to take control of the game, and that's what they're doing. But again, if we give them the opportunity to get forward and stretch them apart a little bit, then we can get some of our own opportunities at the same time.
Substitution in the 79th minute. Ambersley has come on for Tiger Fitzpatrick. Ambersley missed the entire season last year with a knee injury during the preseason with Atlanta. He's back in Rochester, And hopefully he finds his scoring touch tonight. 79th minute, Rochester trailing 1-0.
I think we got one good opportunity left here.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. It'll be a great way to start the year, a man down, and pick up at least a point in Carolina, who's really turned into one of the bigger rivals for the Rochester Rhinos. Ball's played back to Scott Vallow. He'll take it at the 18. You can see everyone trying to push up into the attack for Rochester now as Kenny Burtz and Scott Vallow trying to get some more attack for the Rhinos. Other sponsors of these broadcasts include the World Gym. Real gyms, real people, real results. It's the World Gym. And the Yellow Book. Yellow Book and yellowbook.com say yellow to the future. And Zweigel's, the official hot dog of the Rochester Rhinos. We are in the 80th minute. It is 1-0 Carolina over the Rochester Rhinos. Goal in the 54th minute by Bundu, the Sierra Leone international from Gardner, as Rochester with a throw-in. We'll see if Johnny Ball can come up with a long bomb to get some pressure into that Carolina box. At the corner of the 6th, a flick. No one on the back door there, Pat. As a good job there by, I believe it was Salas, to try and get the flick, but no one on the backside.
Yeah, we definitely needed more bodies in the box. Obviously, we knew that it was going to be a long throw-in.
Throw-in now for Burks. He's also got a long throw-in, but he has not been partaking on those throw-ins deep in Carolina territory. He'll play it into the box, or into the near side, and rolled out over the end line. Goal kick for the Railhawks. As they're going to take their time now, Mark Schulte, the USL First Division Player of the Week. He really hasn't gotten into the attack like we saw last week against Minnesota. He's kind of stayed home tonight.
Well, he's a little older, experienced player. You know, he realizes, especially with the having a goal up right now, that he doesn't need to get forward.
Foul there on the Rhinos. Gavin Glinton taken down from behind. Free kick for Carolina. Again, Glinton scoring the game winner with some help from Palladini last week against the Minnesota Thunder. He's also spent some time in Major League Soccer with L.A. and Dallas. The 30-year-old, he's been around. He's got some experience. He knows how to find the back of the net. Here's Krebelmeyer. Kenton forcing him deep into the corner, and they're going to call a foul on Luke Krebelmeyer. Oh, no, out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Kenton. Really impressed with Darren Kenton. Again, his background, very impressive, and you can see why on the field. He's done a nice job with Luke Krebelmeyer on this near side, and look who's getting ready to come in. Former Rhino, Ahmed Diallo, and he would love to put one in the back of the net against his former team. Long ball played forward. Nato Short wins the header to John Ball on the far side. John Ball plays it forward. Here's Mike Ambersley, who's just come on for Rochester. Nato Short, good touch inside to Johnny Manyanger. Nice little move. Crosses it inside the 18, up and over the bar, just over the bar. Look at this. Sewell may have gotten a piece of it. Salas, Atieno are knocking on the door. Was the cross sent deep, or did Sewell get a piece of it? What a great opportunity for the Rhinos.
Yeah, you got to be able to finish those. That was right on the doorstep. It was an easy header, but you know the defender did well to keep Sala away from the ball, and it was hard to get a good connection on that.
What a great move from Johnny Manyanger. Atieno, he's going to want that one back, Pat. He was there. He got a piece of the ball. I think just nudged off enough by the defender.
Yeah, he had a great header in the first half, and here he is again. He's definitely going to be someone to reckon with good crosses in the box. We'll
go to the bench again as Plotkin coming off for the Carolina Railhawks. We talked about it. Ahmed Diallo, number 19, coming in now in minute number 83. Plotkin is off. Diallo is in. And now you got to deal with the speed of Glinton and the nose for scoring of Ahmed Diallo. Ball played back to Sewell. He rushes up off the 18. Here's Manyager about 20 yards out. Sewell's off his line. Takes the shot. It's deflected away, and here come the Railhawks. Looking for Palladini to Luke Krebelmeyer, who had a good game last week, and he's been very busy tonight against the Rochester Rhinos. Amir Lowry to Jack Stewart. 84th minute. 6 minutes left. The Rhinos trying to get back into this game. Here come the Railhawks. Gavin Glinton, 35 yards out. Plays it forward to Palladini. Little one touch. Palladini tries to get behind Kenny Burtz, and he can't as the strong Rhinos defender clears the ball away. He carries it out now for Rochester. Challenge there by Atieno. He plays it back to Johnny Manyanger. This is Short with the ball looking up. Plays it on this near side. Mauricio Salas stretched all the way out to the near side at midfield. Atieno Tries to touch it back to Salas. He gets taken down, and there's a call coming up here. The Rhinos in the 85th minute with a great opportunity to push some numbers into the box, as we've got a yellow card coming up to Devin McKenney in the 85th minute. So McKenney, that'll be his second yellow card. Yeah, he's off. He is off. Now, this is going to be an interesting finish, Pat, as McKenney is off, Earls is off. Now it's 10v10, and that field must open up just to be an enormous thing. Yeah, right.
Especially that they've made substitutions up in the front line, which, you're not going to get Diallo and the forwards to come back.
Good point.
Like a good defender would. So the substitutions that the Railhawks made may come back to haunt them here, at least in the last 4 or 5 minutes.
He comes in hard with the challenge on Atieno, so McKenney knew he was going to go in the book right away. And it was a tough one for the Railhawks, but again, 10 on 10 for the last 5 minutes. It's going to be an interesting finish from the Wake Med Soccer Park as Rochester now with a huge opportunity to get back in the game. As Sewell now, he'll take a page out of Scott Vallo's book and slow things down for the Railhawks. And wow, this is going to be an exciting finish. Hopefully for the Rhinos, it's enough time to get one in the back of the net. There's the restart from Sewell. Long kick up over midfield. High and long. Burtz again has won these balls all night long in the air. Does it again for the Rhinos. Here's Nano Short. Slide tackle there, but the Rhinos still with possession. Short coming in hard. Ambersley, there's a foul called, and there's going to be another yellow card issued here in minute number 86. It's going to go to number 11, Daniel Palladini, and Rochester starting to gather some free kicks here as Gilkerson is down. It looks like Palladini was the one who got the yellow card for the Railhawks. We'll have to get clarification on it. Palladini came in. He's on the ground, definitely playing the ball. It's a dangerous play there. Comes in, and let's see where the yellow card is, Pat. It'll be on Salas, actually. Yellow card on Salas. But he kind of went over and looked like he gave it to Palladini. With Salas on the ground, picks up the yellow card in the 87th minute. So free kick for Carolina, trying to get to another valuable points in the package tonight as they beat Minnesota last week 2-1. Trying to do it again tonight here against the Rochester Rhinos. Ball crossed into the box, out of play. It'll be a corner kick for the Rochester Rhinos. Don't forget, coming up, we've got the post-game show. Soccer Sam will join us for the post-game show right here on Rochester's Country 107.3. We'll have the sub of the game. The post-game show is driven by Auction Direct. We'll also have the Red Hot Player of the Game and the Play of the Game all coming up on the post-game show. Ball's played up into the Carolina territory. They play a long ball bouncing up over Kenny Burtz, and he'll head it back to Scott Vallo. So some long balls played back and forth. Here's Nano Short for Rochester. 10 on 10 for about 4 minutes here in Carolina. Mauricio Salas plays a ball looking for Atieno. Headed away there by Schulte. Sewell calling for it to be played away, and it is by the Railhawks. Here's Gavin Glinton. Good little poke there by the long legs of Mauricio Salas. Kenton is pushing up into the attack for Rochester. Salas sees him and gives him the ball. Kenton nudged off the ball there by Gilkerson. And the Railhawks just send it deep into Rochester territory. Foot race that Sancho is going to win. Diallo backs off, and he'll play it all the way back to Scott Vallo. 87th minute, Rochester trying to get into this one here. They trail 1-0. Here is Sancho. Receives the ball from Kenny Burtz. He's going to go back to Scott Vallo, top of the 18. Vallo pushes it about 5 or 6 yards forward. Nano Short coming back to receive the ball. And Rochester slow and building up the attack here. Ambersley comes back inside his half of the field. Now he plays a long ball for Kenton. That's a good ball and good anticipation there from Palladini and the Railhawks to knock it out of play. But good to see Ambersley with some attack in his mind there. And the Railhawks under a bit of pressure here as we're going to have another substitution coming up for Carolina. Looks like Caleb Norkus will be coming in the 88th minute. Luke Krummelmeyer, Pat, former Rhino, your thoughts on his game tonight?
He's a feisty, hard-working player. Obviously, attracted some fouls from our players, and obviously that made the difference in the game, getting a red card there on Earls, especially being down 1-0. Yeah, that was a bad time to take a card and play a man down for most of the game.
So Norkus, one of the first players signed by the Carolina Railhawks, comes in. He is a hard worker. It's probably a good move by Rennie, as again they're playing 10v10. And Pat touched it on the two forwards in Glinton and Diallo probably aren't going to come back and do much defending. But now you've got a guy who non-stop works in Caleb Norkus.
Plus he's someone that's good in the air. So, if we do get into a position where we get a good free kick on the offensive third, that he's going to be someone that's going to be good from a defensive standpoint.
The Rhinos not done just yet. Johnny Ball pushing forward, gets a throw in deep in Carolina territory. 89th minute, no sign of stoppage just yet. We will see what that comes up with. Long throwing from John Ball on the far side. Flicked by Salas right into the arms of Caleb Sewell. If that goes a little away from the net, Atieno is streaking in there, but luckily for the Carolina Railhawks, it goes right into the arms of Caleb Sewell.
Yeah, we need to get more balls in the box like that because you got two good players in the air right now with Salas and Atieno.
Here's Ambersley to Ty Atieno coming over from the Puerto Rico Islanders. He loses possession there to Norcus. And the Railhawks coming forward now. Diallo knocked off the ball by Sancho. Sancho pushing forward 35 yards out. He's taken down hard. And play continues here as the Rhinos have the advantage. It's John Ball on the far side trying to make something happen. Left-footed cross into the box. Header by Salas. It's up and over the bar as the Rhinos trying for some late-game heroics.
Yeah, we're getting some opportunities now. Obviously, it might be a little too late, though. It's 90-minute mark.
And Sewell with the arms up in the air, slowing things down. And what great work from John Ball, though. Just cuts it back to his left foot, serves it into the box. Mauricio Salas through traffic. Gets up and just doesn't get the ball driven down, but still a good look there from the Rhinos. 90th minute, it's 1-0 Carolina over Rochester. We are now approaching stoppage time. No indication from the fourth official just yet. Here at the Wake Med Soccer Park, Schulte long ball. Just says, let's get it out of here and keep it down in the Rochester half of the field. Bello puts it down.
Yeah, push everybody forward, get
and
it up.
He's throwing everyone up into the attack. We are in stoppage time in Carolina. Here's Atieno for Kenton, the left back who's overlapping deep now in the Carolina territory. Yeah, good win of a corner kick. Good win there for Kenton.
Here's an opportunity right here.
What did you throw Vallo in the
Put everybody in there. Scott's got to come up too, no question, depending on how much time is left.
So it's going to be a corner kick with Johnny Menyanger streaking over to take the kick for Rochester. Stoppage time. Can the Rhinos score a late one to equalize here in Carolina? Menyanger sets it up. Rochester with bodies in the box. Here's the kick. Sewell off his line, headed up and over, and out of play on the far side. No, it's kept in by the Rhinos. Back to the top of the 6, top of the 18. Right-footed shot up, and it's deflected by Schulte, the Carolina defender. Rochester throwing everything forward here inside the 18, and the Railhawks win possession as Norcus sends it deep downfield. And here's Ahmed Diallo one-on-one with John Ball. He's going to take it to the corner. Looking, he's going to try to eat the clock down for the Railhawks. There's a foul called. Nope. We'll play advantage here. It's Diallo. He gets around John Ball. He's spent. Diallo, corner of the 18, plays it to the top, looking for Norcus. Turns around with the right, and it's cleared away by the Rhinos. What a finish here. We've got 4 minutes of stoppage time in Carolina, and this has been everything thrown at Caleb Sewell, but Rochester unable to find the back of the net. Unbelievable finish here.
They're giving up opportunities. For a team that's up 1-0, obviously here's later stages of the game, we're pushing more people forward and we're getting our chances.
For Martin Rennie and the Railhawks, that's maybe a concern. They had the man advantage last week, a man advantage tonight, and they just have not been able to take full advantage of the opportunity. They're getting the wins, but if it's going to be that way, I think it's going to turn the tide pretty soon. There's a red card now coming up to the Rochester Rhinos. It's going to be Nano Short who's making his debut with the Rhinos. He's yelling at the official. Let's see if he got the red or is it Johnny Ball. There's a discussion going on off the play. Looks like it's going to be John Ball with the red card. Short is arguing the case, and he was upset. I think first there was no foul call on the play with Diallo, and John Ball is actually spent. So Rochester now has got a whole situation looking at players next week missing as well.
Yeah, you can't afford this. You're already in a situation where you're going to lose a game possibly, and you got some chance of maybe getting back in there. But now getting another red card like that, you got two players that are key players that are going to be out of the game, both your fullbacks.
Your outside fullbacks, both out of the game next week. And we're still in stoppage time. It's 10-9, 1 red card for the Railhawks, 2 for Rochester, as this thing is really getting ugly in Carolina tonight. The Railhawks with a 1-0 lead. We didn't see what John Ball did. It was off the play. Short was arguing the case, but I'm sure it was a result of not getting the call on Diallo as Rochester sends it deep into the Carolina half of the field. And we are in stoppage time from Carolina. 1-0 Railhawks on a goal from Bundu, who has since come off the pitch. Diallo Krummeyer, the former Rhinos, trying to bring their new team to a 1-0 win over Rochester. Long kick headed away there by Kenny Burtz. Here's Sancho. There's a long ball trying to make anything happen here. It's desperate times for the Rhinos. Palladini plays it forward. No one there for Carolina. We are definitely deep into stoppage time. They called for 4 minutes. We should be about a minute away from that, if that. Rochester played forward now to Johnny Minyanger. Tries to spin around. Palladini still maintains possession. Minyanger to Ambersley. On the far side now, here come the Rhinos. Cross into the box. Nope, cuts it back. Now it's going to be crossed in by, again.
Got to put it in the box.
Yeah, very hesitant to serve the ball in the box. Salas is taken down, and a free kick for the Rhinos about 25 yards out. But again, the hesitation to put the ball in the box, a bit surprising.
But here's a chance. I mean, we got to get this ball in the box. Let's take our time here. Let's get our guys forward, get everybody in the box, put a nice ball at the top of the 6 there, curl it in, and you get some bodies on it. And it's bound. You never know. Get a foot on it, it's going to go in.
You got two great options in Salas and Minyanger. Stoppage time to the left of Sewell.
Yeah.
Reynolds with a free kick. It's a direct kick. Can they create some magic? Salas, left-footed shot deflected off the wall. Left-footed shot by Burtz. It's driven straight in at Sewell. And you're right, Pat, the bodies were in the box. Just no one there to finish it for the Rochester Rhinos. And that'll do it tonight from the Wake Med Soccer Park. Your final score, the Carolina Railhawks 1, the Rochester Rhinos 0. We'll be back with post-game festivities. Well, game number 1 is in the books for the Rochester Rhinos, and it's a 1-0 loss to the Carolina Railhawks. So on the season, Rochester 0 wins and 1 loss for Carolina. They are 2-0 on the season. They win last week against Minnesota. They win against the tough Rochester Rhinos this evening. The only goal coming in the 54th minute, Bundu from Gardner. Joe Giuliano with Pat Erkley as we're recapping tonight's game. And Pat, 2 red cards for the Railhawks, 1 for the Rhinos. Opportunities really both ways tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we just needed to be come out in the second half with a little more intensity. It looked like we came out flat, gave them a couple of opportunities, then they got the goal, and then we created that red card. Earl's bad timing on that. We're down 1-0. We need to keep our composure and realize that we still had a lot of time to get back in the game. With that red card, it just kind of threw everything off. Although we did continue to play and get forward and get some opportunities. But then at that point, we needed to understand, okay, look at, if we get a goal here, great, we're going to tie this game, we'll get some points. If not, we need to still think about what's going to happen next week. Yeah, so we can't be giving away another red card and, putting ourselves in a hole.
Speaking of next week, Pat, you've got your 2 outside defenders, Ball and Earls, out of the lineup. And don't forget, this is a team now that's carrying only 20 players this year. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Darren Tilley shuffles the cards.
Yeah, no question. There you have your 2 outside change up. Because you want those back 4 to create a bond with their goalkeeper, and so if you're not doing that, then it becomes more difficult.
So the Rhinos are definitely trailing. They lose tonight 1-0 to the Carolina Railhawks. Joe Giuliano with Pat Erkley. And I'll get Pat's mic adjusted here and get his level way up there as Rochester, again, opens the season with a 1-0 loss to the Carolina Railhawks. It's time for the play of the game, brought to you by the Smoking and Health Action Coalition. For more information, go to smokefreemonroe.com. Here's tonight's play of the game from Carolina. Taken down hard, and play continues here as the Rhinos have the advantage. It's John Ball on the far side trying to make something happen. Left-footed cross into the box. Header by Salas. It's up and over the bar as the Rhinos trying for some late-game heroics. That's the play of the game, Smoke and Health Action Coalition. For more information, go to the smokefreemonroe.com website. So 2 red cards tonight for the Rhinos, 1 for Carolina. Opportunities both ways around. And what kind of week are we looking at for the Rochester Rhinos with those 2 key players out and getting ready for another road trip?
Yeah, obviously, you want to get off to a good start and you want to build confidence. And although I feel they didn't really play that poorly, they had some chances.
Absolutely.
They got forward. The red cards are obviously going to put a damper on things. That's 2 negatives that they didn't need, especially going into your next game.
It's going to be interesting to see what the Rhinos come up with. And your thoughts on some of the new players, Sancho and Kenton. I thought Kenton especially played well tonight.
Yeah, Sancho did well, too, at the back. I thought they did very well with Bandu, especially through the course of the first half. They held him up well, a strong player. And as I said, I mean, the second half we came out a little flat, and he got the opportunity to push off one of the defenders and get a great finish there.
For Bundu, his first goal of the year. He scored 11 goals last year with Cleveland. And again, this is a guy, Pat, who had a chance to go over to Europe or even go up to MLS, decided to stay with his coach, and he makes the best of it tonight for the Railhawks. So your final score, Carolina 1, Rochester nothing. Next game is Friday night in Puerto Rico, 7:30 pregame, 8 o'clock kickoff. Pat Erkley making his radio debut this evening, Pat. Tremendous job, and it's going to be a lot of fun working with you this year.
I appreciate it, Joe. You did a great job yourself.
Yeah, we're making it work. And your insight is definitely appreciated, and I'm sure the fans enjoyed it as well.
Definitely. I mean, you're coming from obviously doing the color last year and going to play-by-play. It's quite different. But it's easy to kind of find the spots while you're doing the play-by-play.
If you don't find the spots, I'll just nudge you. Just give you a little nudge and you'll be all set to go. Let's have a cold one here and relax just for a little bit, Pat, as the Rhinos fall tonight to the Carolina Railhawks 1-0. Stick around. The post-game show is coming up next. We'll have the sub of the game. We'll have the red hot player of the game. The post-game show is driven by Auction Direct. The lowest price, the best experience. Log on to auctiondirect.com. And the number to call in is going to be 222-9500, 222-9500. Soccer Sam will join us for the post-game show coming up next.
World Gym Rochester. It's more than just an experience, it's a feeling. Sure, you want to look good, but more important, you want to feel good. The staff at the family-owned World Gym Rochester knows what it takes to get results. World Gym Rochester invites you to experience a different feeling. Satisfaction, accomplishment, elation, health, and happiness. Stop into World Gym Rochester, 1717 East Avenue across from Wegmans, or call 271-0440. World Gym Rochester. It's more than just an experience, it's a feeling.
I was doing nothing. Then I went to Finger Lakes Gaming and Racetrack. They got it all. Exciting video gaming machines, usually 1,200 of them. This great all-you-can-eat buffet and live thoroughbred racing. The folks at Finger Lakes are fantastic. There's always a fun crowd, and every month there's exciting promotions and great events. So much action, so close to home. So why do nothing when you can do it all at Finger Lakes Gaming and Racetrack? The fun starts here.
Falling to the Carolina Railhawks 1-0. And what a game it was. 2 red cards for the Rhinos, 1 for the Railhawks. And before we even get into the meat of the game, your number to call, 222-9500, 222-9500. Give us a call, get on the air, and talk about tonight's game from Carolina. I'm Joe Giuliano, joined by Soccer Sam. Sammy, you were next to us for the game tonight. What are your thoughts on this one tonight out of Cary?
Well, I think you guys did an amazing job. What a team we have in the broadcast booth this year. You guys are just so smooth together, so much soccer knowledge, and I was very, very impressed with both of you. Great job. I thought our team, I think Carolina played really hard the first half, and I thought we looked a little better on the second half. We started making some changes. We had some chances. But, hey, they've already had one game. We haven't. No excuse, but I think our team's only going to get better. 222-9500. Give us a call again, 222-9500. This is the post-game show driven by Auction Direct. The lowest price, the best experience. Log on to auctiondirect.com. And it's time for some post-game awards, my friend Soccer Sam. The sub of the game brought to you by the Distillery, your neighborhood gathering place. It's all good here. It is good there at the Distillery, and I would say the sub of the game, in my opinion, was Salas. Mauricio Salas, I thought, went in. He had one chance where he turned around, he cracked it. Just unlucky there. Just didn't go where he wanted it to go, but that would have been it would have tied the game. So I think my sub of the game would have been Mauricio Salas.
Let's not forget the header opportunity that he had as well. The cross from John Ball. He just couldn't get it driven down, but Salas, I thought, had a tremendous game tonight as well.
He played well up and down, and I tell you, John Ball, what a player, though. It's unfortunate with the red card, but John Ball just gives you so much every game up and down that flank.
Final score again, Carolina 1, Rochester nothing. The red hot player of the game, it's brought to you by Sweigel's, the official hot dog of the Rochester Rhinos. And, Sammy, who's the red hot player of the game?
My opinion, Joe, I don't know what you and Pat think, but I think it was Scott Velo. I thought Scott Velo kept us in the match in the first half, made some amazing saves. The first save just was diving. It kind of hit the back of his foot. Maybe he got lucky, but that's what he does all the time. He just sprawls out. If the ball's going to pass him, the back of his legs, everything's up in the air, and I thought he kept the Rhinos in the game in the first half.
Great performance from Scott Vallow this evening. He's the Red Hot Player of the Game. Brought to you by Zweigle's, the official hot dog of the Rochester Rhinos. 222-9500. There is so much to talk about. The red cards. Now Darren Tilley is going to have a tough look ahead of him. John Ball will be out. Danny Earls will be out. And the Rochester Rhinos missing 2 key players.
2 amazing players. And that is the problem. You don't have a real deep bench. And we'll see what happens. I mean, some of these younger guys are going to have an opportunity to maybe start and see what they can do. But John Ball, in my opinion, is the heart and soul of that back. He's up and down. You could hear him, screaming from up above and hear what he's doing on the sidelines. And Danny Earls, he's the youth of the team. He's the young guy, the guy that can go up and down. He's got the speed. So here you got your two speedsters on the outside are out of the game. And right now, looking at our roster, I'm not sure who could fill that role.
It'll be interesting to see what happens next week. The next game is 8 o'clock on Friday night in Puerto Rico. Be sure to join us for a 7:30 pregame show right here on Country 107.3. 222-9500. And, Sam, Michael is the first caller of 2009. Good evening, Michael.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good.
I have to agree with everything that Sam just said. 100% agreement. I thought that Joe and Pat did an excellent job in the broadcast.
I tell you, see, he's giving you guys confidence, but Pat Erkley, he's just in it, man. It's like, I see the smile on his face. He's back in the groove. I'm loving it, and the fans are just going to love it. We've got a legend in the booth, and Joe's been doing this thing since he was 6 years old, talking to himself in a mirror, and now he's doing a play-by-play.
I love the way Pat broke down like the 4-3-3 formation, like what the plus was from it, or the possible negative effect, about the defenders getting in behind. And I just had this clear image of the formation in my mind as Pat was describing it.
Yeah, to work with Pat, it was just awesome because he's teaching me a whole other level of the game as well. And, I love being in the play-by-play chair. Having Pat alongside of me is just a wonderful addition to the game. He goes in so much deeper than I ever could have last year and the years before. So it's a whole other level of broadcast, and I'm glad you enjoyed it, Michael.
I had an insight into John Ball. It was in the first preseason game of the year when I think there was Tony Malia in goal and Mike Ambersley and Ball were playing together, and everybody else was newer or guys who didn't make the team. And it was a cold day, and Ball had the hamstring injury last year in the semifinals against Puerto Rico, and he was just busting his behind, getting up there, making runs. And then it occurred to me that him and Ambersley are friends, and Ball was just going out of his way to give Ambersley a chance, to show what he can do and to try to help his friend make the team. And I thought, that's John Ball.
That's what he does, and he's a health nut. A lot of people don't know this. John Ball doesn't smoke, doesn't drink. He's just a health nut, and he works out every day in the off season. He runs miles and miles, and that's what he does. He's the healthiest guy I know. He eats those health bars every time I turn around. He's eating a health bar. So that's the difference, Michael. But Michael, you mentioned how great Joe and Pat did. What do you think of this ticket promotion? Are you going to get your friends involved? Imagine this could be the Michael Stadium.
No, if I win, it won't be the Michael Stadium. It's either going to be, if I win, it's either going to be Hollader Park or Hollader Field. I'm not sure which one sounds better, but I just think that would be like a fitting tribute for a hero and the whole history of soccer in Rochester.
You're the second person. Chris Wilmot was one of the first people to come down to the Rhino office yesterday, and he purchased a 3-pack of season tickets, and one of the names he picked was the Don Hollander Stadium. So if he wins it, it'd be kind of cool to go back to the history of the Lancers and where the great Pat Erkley got his start in pro soccer back in the day, and it'd be kind of cool to pay tribute to something like that. But a lot of people are talking like that. A lot of companies are saying, we're going to buy 20 of these, and we want to give it to a nonprofit. We want to give it to a group of young kids that go to the games, and who cares about the name? And today, Brother Weeze is on our sister station, and one of his associates said, what happens if it's the Weeze Cares Stadium? And that would be amazing where, Weeze is doing his thing. And, you got Camp Good Days, you got Food Link. We got so many great people in this community doing so many great things. So, hey, I love the way you're thinking, Michael. And, you're one of those guys that every game I see you there bringing new fans and try to turn them on to the sport.
I do, yeah.
May 30th is a big one.
Oh, yeah. One of the things I liked about there was some national attention about the naming rights for the stadium. And it's mostly positive stuff. You know, I was worried it could be like Jim Rome, you know, how he loves the bad soccer, but actually most of what I saw, I think it was like Fox News covered it in some different locations, and most of what I saw was actually positive, you know, for Rochester and the Rhinos.
So, Michael, we got Pat Erkley joining us again. Okay. Here, and you were happy with his work tonight, huh?
Excellent. Yeah, both you too, Joe.
Well, thank you, Michael. Pat, we got some kind words out there tonight.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mike. I really appreciate it.
All right, Michael, thank you very much for the call. 222-9500 as the Rhinos, unfortunately, down in Carolina, fall to the Railhawks 1-0. And, again, next week, Sammy will be coming with the Puerto Rico Islanders, and then Miami FC. And there's a whole lot of great soccer still coming up.
The season's early. It's kind of cool, though, that we get this thing off. You know, all of us this morning, I was with Jeff DeBronic this morning. It's like it kind of hit us. The season finally starts today, and, you know, we had a ways to go here. You know, we're going to go right into September with this thing, but I can't wait for next weekend. 2 huge matches. Miami's looking great. A lot of former Rhinos are on the Miami team, and, of course, Puerto Rico deep into the CONCACAF run there, and, you know, 2 great teams.
222-9500. The Rhinos will play 8 straight games on the road. They'll be back home on May the 30th against Montreal. 7:30 kickoff. Season tickets as low as $99. And, you know, you get a chance to, I guess, put your name on the stadium as well. And if you win it, what would you call the stadium?
I was thinking about a lot of different things. If I won it, you know, I don't know. I would probably go with the Salvatore's Pizza Stadium. Probably be. I'll just be honest with you. It'd be Salvatore's Pizza Park.
How about Pat? Pat, what would you go with?
Obviously, my father-in-law is dear to my heart, and he put a lot of time and money into soccer.
Sure did.
If anything, I would like to see it be named after him, but I could also see the Hollander Stadium as one of the names.
You know, Pat, during the game tonight, we were talking about some of the great memories of Rhino soccer. We talked about the huge battles with Montreal when there was physical play on the field, physical play on the sideline, and you know, getting back now in a broadcasting role with the club. Is it bringing back a lot of memories?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to throw the mic at the sun as it comes.
Okay, well, Pat, it's great to have you back on the air here with the Rochester Rhinos. 222-9500 is the number. Give us a call, and we can talk about the Rochester Rhinos 2009 season opener and beyond, and also the raffle, the Name Your Team, Name the Stadium contest as well. Underway here, a couple days, and a lot of action coming into the Rhinos office.
New website happening. Mike Moran clicked it today. Go to rhinosoccer.com. Get to see all kinds of old stuff. Each year, Pat, you're gonna be able to see the different teams and the different MVPs of those teams. A lot of history. Eric Trendle, Mike Moran put hours and hours into that, and that looks fantastic. And we talked about it earlier. If you're out and about, you go to Twitter. Or is it Tweeter, Joe? Twitter/rhinosoccer.com, I believe, and you can register, and you'll get like text messaging of the game updates. And again, Mike Moran from Spinning Webs is doing all that. And of course, Monday there'll be a huge announcement in Rochester. You'll probably read about it tomorrow in the DeVeronica and Chronicle newspaper. Abby Wambach.
Say it, because Rob Clark was on the pregame show and talked about it.
Abby Wambach is coming back to town. The women's national team's coming back to town. I think it's, do you know the date?
July 19th, I want to say.
I think it's the 13th, or it might be the 19th, but it's an afternoon game. ESPN Live. Abby shooting for that 100th goal. And after what she went through with the broken leg and all that, coming back in, she's playing for the Women's League right now, doing really well with that. But I can't wait for that. And a lot of things. I mean, our players are out and about everywhere. The Rhinestones are everywhere. Rex the Rhinos doing his thing, making appearances. And a lot of coaches are getting the Pro Pass and now taking advantage of possibly having their club name on the stadium.
You know, I remember going back to Hollander Stadium days, afternoon games. I believe the Lancers played quite a bit on Sunday afternoons. Pat Erkley, I think, scored 3 goals against Fort Lauderdale in one of those games on a Sunday afternoon. And now the Rhinos are going back to that Sunday afternoon thing. Talk about that whole situation.
It's something that we talked about in the off season. That was the time. I mean, after Sunday, you have your Sunday meal at 1 o'clock, and then you go to the 3 o'clock game, and it was part of you know, our culture in Monroe County. People did that, and all the ethnic groups went to it. And now it's different. There's probably less ethnic groups going to the games, but more soccer families going to the games. So I think it's going to be cool. It doesn't interfere with things on a Sunday afternoon. It doesn't interfere with weddings and parties on a Saturday night. So we're going to try this a little bit and see what happens, but a lot less Friday night games. I know Pat was instrumental in in the first few years of the Rhinos to not play against the men's youth adult leagues.
Yep.
And this year, the Rhinos try to do everything they can not to play against the adult leagues. Matt Ford and Mr. Clark were in those meetings saying, no, we can't play Friday, we can't play this Friday. Sometimes you're stuck playing a Friday night, but we tried to limit the amount of Friday nights, a lot of Saturday night games, a few Sunday games, and it's going to be fun this year. And Wednesday night. I think that could be that's a little secret night. Because you know what? Everyone's got stuff to do on weekends in the summer.
Absolutely.
Graduation, okay, but Wednesday night's kind of an off night. And if you're a coach of a team and you have a scheduled Wednesday night, look at the Rhino schedule, reschedule that baby now, and the kids, let's face it, you can run around cones all day long. There's nothing like seeing a pro game.
222-9500, Joe Giuliano, Soccer Sam. Pat Erkley also nearby here. If you want to talk to the former coach and USL Hall of Famer, give us a call, 222-9500. This is the Rhinos post-game show driven by Auction Direct. The lowest price, the best experience. Log on to auctiondirect.com. And if you're just tuning in, unfortunately for the Rhinos, it was a 1-0 loss to the Carolina Railhawks, but the Rhinos had opportunities. And Sam, some of the new players coming into the lineup tonight, Sancho, Kenton, I keep going back to him. I thought he played a nice game as well. What did you think about these guys?
I thought all the new guys looked good. I didn't hear Ryan Hines. I didn't see him a lot playing on the field, and he looked so good in preseason. I was kind of disappointed he wasn't getting a lot of through balls. He's got amazing speed, so we'll see what happens. I thought John Ball, Minyonger played great. Salas played great in the second half. And Vallo, when you got a goalie like Vallo, it's just your confidence changes. You don't have to worry about anything. So I thought Kenny Burts played well in the middle. So overall, the team's great. But my biggest joy tonight was sitting with first, Pat Erkley, former NASL star, indoor star, and one of the greatest coaches ever to coach in American soccer, and Joe Giuliano, the first guy ever cut by the New York Cosmos. Pat, he showed up in New York for the tryout. He got out of his car and they cut him. It's like,
did they record it?
But Pat, what a night this has got to be for you. Getting back into the groove here, getting back into the soccer world. How's it feel?
Definitely. Obviously, it's something that I've loved all my life. I did it for a good portion of my life, and so it's always nice to get involved and play a part in helping the team possibly win. Obviously, if our analysis can help, when they do tapes, if they check on some of the thoughts we've had, maybe that can help out in making the team better.
That's a good point. Now, Pat, tell me about the coaching thing. You told me you're helping your daughter. Tell me where you're coaching right now and what are you doing with your family right now, coach-wise, soccer-wise?
Actually, I'm not coaching. I'm watching.
You're watching. That's nice.
I'm watching. My daughter plays for River Flow, and she also plays for Spencerport, so she plays for two teams. So I've been involved in that from a parent standpoint. For the most part, that's what I've been doing.
That's awesome, Pat. Well, I tell you, Joe and I talked about, who we get to do the color analyst, and we thought, it was just both of us, same time, said the same name, and I'm just honored that I know you have a really busy lifestyle right now with a lot of things going on in your family and your career, but thank you so much for doing this for us and bringing amazing. Joe's doing an amazing job, but bringing one of the greatest coaches ever to coach in American soccer to this booth just brings us to a new level.
Well, I appreciate that. It's nice to be a part of it.
All right, so now, Pat, if you had to pick your player of the game, Joe's right now taking a little break here. I'm saying Val was my player of the game. He was my Wagner's red hot player of the game, and I thought Salas was my substitute of the game. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Scott's always been a big time player, and I think tonight again he made a great save in that first half with his foot actually deflecting that one shot, and then the second half he came out well on several breakaways where he cut the angles down and forced them to shoot wide or hit the post. So he had the right angles and did well. Obviously the ball hit the post and came back to him, so it was kind of a little bit lucky, but you create your own luck, and that's something that he's done very well. He's the type of goalkeeper. We've had some great goalkeepers here with him and Pat Onstead and Billy Andrecki. And again, he's the type of player that instills some confidence in your team when you make great saves like that, or you create and force the other team to make mistakes. So I would have to say that I would go with Scott Vallo.
Hey, Pat, how did it feel, though? Be off the sidelines, up into the booth? Is it stressful as being the coach, or a lot less stress?
No, I'm sure Darren's feeling a lot more than I am.
I mean, that's got to be just such a night and day experience going from there to being the head honcho to now just, kind of picking and choosing and seeing what's going on.
Yeah, I left some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, did you ever? Did you ever? We're still waiting for another championship.
It's tough. I mean, when we look back, it was kind of, at the time, we were winning so much that people, I don't think we really appreciate what we were doing. And now when it's been so difficult to do, now you kind of appreciate what happened before.
You nailed it on the head. Yeah. You don't appreciate what you have at the time, and now it is just an amazing feat what you did with the team. 4 championships. Going back to 1999, this year is a kind of an honor of the 1999 U.S. Open Cup championship team with the gold jerseys. And when you look back on your coaching career, that's got to be one of the top accomplishments in your resume.
No question, but also the caliber of players that we had here, it always makes it easier from a coaching standpoint to be successful. You're there managing, and that's the key, managing. It's not so much coaching. You're really managing all different types of personalities and characters, and we had some great guys here.
You mean you had some egos to manage? No, is that true?
I think they had their character, basically.
Character, okay, that's what we'll call it.
Came through, and I think, the fans really appreciated it. They were able to, it was a tangible thing for them.
Pat, it seemed like those guys really, really connected with the community.
Yeah,
everywhere it was just Rhinos, Ercole, Miller, Steenkamp, Andracki. For some reason, what was the magic there?
Just that, they were personalities that came through. It wasn't just like 1 or 2 on a team. It was a whole team like that.
Yeah.
And then, just that rivalry between Montreal and ourselves, it kind of lit a fire under the community. And then having the Frontier Field come in, a new stadium, and, we were the first occupants, and basically that first year, we did everything right. We had the turf on the infield, and most people may have not done that, and that was really a touch of class to some degree. And just we did the right things, and then the success that came through with it made it different.
One name I'm going to throw out there, Valerio Gazzola.
Where is he?
Who knows? How about as the coach of the Rhinos? Didn't you play a game? Was it in Colorado?
Yeah. We want to put that behind us. It was actually in Atlanta.
Atlanta, okay. I remember Pat Ercole suiting up.
See, we had less than 20 players.
Yeah, right. So, let's get serious, though, for a second. Let's talk about that. Now, with the 2 red cards, the injury to Sanders, you're down to 17 players now.
Yeah, it's tough to go to Puerto Rico.
Right? I mean, that's a talented, top-level team.
Yeah, no question. Puerto Rico right now is probably the best team in the league, although I don't know how they did tonight. But they played Vancouver, and that was a rematch. But they were playing, I believe, in Puerto Rico. So.
Yeah, in Puerto Rico, we cut their feet
a little bit. The thing that they're going to have a little trouble with is that they've been playing CONCACAF games during the winter months, and so they've kind of somewhat peaked a little bit. So they're going to have to be able to maintain that, and get strong at the end of the season, where other teams are kind of building towards that. So we'll have to see how it plays out towards the end of the season.
Is that where depth might be an issue then?
It could be. I mean, that's where Colin Clark's going to really have to manage his team, and of course he's a great guy. I really have a lot of respect for him. But he's done a great job with them.
Well, Pat, you've done a great job tonight, and it's a pleasure to work with you. Let the fans know. I mean, you're being called the guest analyst right now, and listen, I hope we get you in here for as many games as possible.
Yeah, I'd certainly like to be here for as many as I can, but obviously my commitments with my family and business and the work that I'm doing now. I have both parents that live in Toronto, and they're in their 80s, so I've spent a little time with them. With having 4 children here in Rochester, it's a little more difficult to get back to Toronto. So I'd like to be able to do that at this point.
Pat, it's going to be like The Godfather, that one scene with Al Pacino. Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back.
We'll have to do remote from Toronto.
Yeah, hey, I have no problem with that. I love being up in Canada. Not a problem at all. But Pat, great job tonight. It's great to have you back in the broadcast in a broadcast capacity now, and you did a great job. I look forward to working with you again.
Same to you, Joe. You did a great job. You go down in the record books. See,
the Wayne Fuller book.
Joe Giuliani.
That's a good book to be in.
Perfect name for it. Joe Giuliani. Has a ring to it.
That's a perfect book to be in. I'll take that all day long. Well, Pat, thanks a lot. Great job tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Soccer Sam will get your final thoughts as well this evening from the broadcast center as the Rhinos unfortunately begin the 2009 season with a loss to the Carolina Railhawks. And Sammy, hopefully Puerto Rico is in for a big shocker next week when Rochester comes to town.
Well, I'll tell you, next week 2 huge games, Joe, and this week, Monday morning, I expect everybody in Rochester, if you don't have season tickets yet, if you know someone that needs season tickets, their name could be on the stadium. I'm out, brother.
At Soccer Sam, Pat Erkley, thanks for all of your help tonight, making the broadcast, again, perfect as usual. All right, we'll be back on the air Friday night at 7:30 with the pregame show. 8 o'clock is the kickoff. Juan Ramon Lubriel Stadium, the Rhinos, and the very dangerous Puerto Rico Islanders. For our great producer, Craig Shaler, for Soccer Sam, and for Pat Erkley, I'm Joe Giuliano saying ciao for now on Rochester's Country 107.3.